Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Super Game Brothers podcast. This is a weekly podcast all about board games and video games, and this is episode number 62. 10 weeks over a year, baby. Crazy to be here. My name is David, and I'm joined every single week by my brother, Player4 on Twitch, but we call him Devin in person.
Yes, sir. That's me.
Yeah.
Hi.
How you doing, Player4?
It's been a busy week, but I'm doing fantastic, as always.
As always. Oh.
Yes. It's always doing good, you know?
It's impressive.
Never a hard day for me.
I forgot if I told you this dumb story. Did I tell you about my squibbles with Xfinity?
Yes, you did.
Oh, I did?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, where did I end? Because I've got probably an update to the story. Yeah.
Just they couldn't help you with anything, and you just went back to the basics, sent a phone back to them.
You're right. Okay. Yeah, so almost just about there. Recap for the listeners. Get an email. Email says, cool, you can have a new phone. If you, and we'll give you an $830 credit for a free new iPhone 16. As long as you upgrade one of your plans to a premium unlimited. And I was like, cool, that sounds great. Chat in with them. They're like, yes, you qualify. Here's the phone. Here's the order. They submit the order. He says, oh, wait, I just checked. You're not eligible for this promo. I'm like, okay, that's fine. Can you just cancel the order then? Sorry, I can't cancel this order. You'll have to call customer service. I go, all right, you're helpless. Call customer service. And they're like, oh, let us check. Maybe you are eligible for the promo. Takes them like 10 minutes. They double check that. Nope, he was right. You're not. Let us see if we can cancel the order. Oh, sorry, we can't either. The phone just shipped. I'm like, this has only been like 15 minutes. You tell me you already shipped this phone? And they're like,
they're on it.
When you get it, give us a call back. We'll refund you, send it back, send you a shipping label, all that stuff. So I call on Tuesday when the phone shows up and explain the situation to the lady. And she's like, all right, yeah, I can get that done. On the phone with her for about 15 minutes and a lot of holding. But she says, okay, I got that figured out. The order is going to be returned. You should get a shipping label in your email within the hour. And just send it in the next couple of days and you're good to go. And I was like, okay, cool. That was 6-ish days ago. No shipping label.
Sweet.
Yeah. So checked spam, checked like 3 different email addresses, even though she confirmed the email address on the phone with me like 6 times. So I know which one she was trying to send it to. I just don't get how people are so bad at their jobs. But anyways, hopefully that'll go back. Xfinity, they're the worst. Devin, what else is new besides that?
Let me think. I got a Switch too. There's that.
You did.
Goated device.
Is that your initial review? Goated device?
Yeah, I think it's super cool. It's beautiful. Looks pretty. High resolution, fast little units, cool settings, easy to dock, instantly connected to my LAN cable for my internet, very fast, no issues at all. Awesome to play in handheld, very high frame rates. All the good things with the Switch too. It was a pricey little bugger, but
yeah, they are pricey.
I think that it will be worth it in the end. It's an awesome device. Played 9 hours straight of Mario Kart World, destroyed the entire game. And yeah, destroyed the whole campaign of that game. There's some more stuff to do in the open world.
Is there a campaign?
Kart. I mean, technically, I would say the Grand Prix are the campaign.
Oh,
it rolled the credits once we beat them all.
It did?
Yeah.
You beat all of them?
Yeah.
Wow.
On 150cc, not to show off. But anyways,
nice.
The game's cool. It's double the amount of players per race. There's multiple. I mean, we'll talk about that later, but yeah, Mario Kart's cool. The device is cool. There is a little glimpse of an unboxing we did on YouTube.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. We opened the box together.
Sure did.
See Devin's hands here in a second. Oh, there they are.
I even spun it for you.
Yeah. Took all the pieces out, turned on the device, kind of saw how everything connects together. I do like the magnet this time of the Joy-Cons instead of the sliding motion. Screen looks really cool. You know, the nice 120 frames. There were no staples in your Switch, which was good news. Which I think happened in a GameStop in New York. They stapled receipts to the outside of every box. The staples just right into the screen there.
Well, it is interesting. I'd like to talk to the person over boxing this up.
Yeah, exactly. Why put the screen out? Flip that thing upside down.
The screen should be in the center, the dead center, the core of the box.
Yeah.
And not... it's the first thing you see with it facing you when you open it.
And I don't get it either, because if you flipped it over on the back, I think it says Switch 2 with like the Switch 2 logo.
Yeah, weird.
And so if you open the box and see the Switch 2 logo, you're like, oh, that's cool. But instead, here's a staple in your screen.
You know what is cool, though? Nintendo made enough devices where people are able to, right now, go out and get them at stores. Which is cool.
It does seem like I've seen tons of, like, listings from, like, deals accounts on Twitter. They're like, hey, Walmart's got some now, and, like, Target's got some now. Walmart's opening a bunch more in-store tomorrow morning. And it does seem like, even though, like, I tried to kill myself to get one of the pre-orders, which was a little tricky, but it seems like they're a lot easier to get than last time, or even like the PlayStation 5 was.
Which I think is the play, especially for customer satisfaction, because it's not being scalped and upsold for crazy amounts of money when you're not going to go online and buy one for $800 when you can walk into Walmart and potentially get one.
Yeah, the highest I've seen is about $100 up. So
and that's how it should be.
$450 to $550, $600 for the scalping price.
Yeah, they made enough, it seems like.
Yeah, it does seem like they've done pretty good with that. It was kind of fun to unbox it. We, like I said, we kind of turned it on, connect all the controllers, and then I like comparing things in size, so we compared it to the size of the original Switch. The, what else did I throw in here? The Wii U gamepad. We got a PlayStation Vita.
A couple of controllers.
A DualShock 3, and then the Walmart bags that came in, they threw you some gaming goodies as well. So you got a Coke and some Pringles.
It was honestly, I almost just threw the Switch away and kept those.
Exactly, yeah. So that was kind of fun. That was, I'll go back to just our faces, but it is always a fun day when it is new console day.
Yeah, it doesn't happen very often.
Yeah.
It's like years and years and years. You're like, oh, I remember how this felt. I didn't save any money to prepare for this day, but here we are. I'm going to get one.
Yeah.
And it is exciting because, like, it doesn't seem like Nintendo launches new consoles often at all. Or any of the manufacturers. I mean,
yeah,
Sony.
I mean, it's 8 years ago.
Exactly. So it was exciting. Even though the price is high, super, super cool to get one. I'm stoked about it.
Yeah. I don't think I have another segment here about us talking about the Switch 2, since there's so much else going on in video games this week. So maybe we'll just kind of close the loop here on our Switch 2 thoughts. I do think it's very cool just holding the device. It feels nice. Going through the settings was fun. I think they made it like as close to the Switch 1's user interface as possible, which is probably smart for like kids and that kind of thing. But like the eShop works quite a bit better, loads faster. You played Mario Kart on stream on Twitch for 7 hours yesterday? 8? 9? Was it 9 hours?
I feel like it was very long.
How did it perform on a 9-hour day? Did it feel good?
Oh, fantastic. And the coolest part was the Joy-Cons never showed any signs of dying. They were not plugged in that whole time.
Oh, you just had them. Did you have them in
the little
dock thing?
Yeah.
Not the dock. What's it called? The little controller attachment?
It did. Yeah, and they lasted the whole time, which is actually pretty good.
That is surprising.
It's a long time.
Yeah. I wonder what the battery life of the Switch 2 is handheld. Because I've seen some people say, like, I wish the battery life was better, but I feel like I would play it most in the dock anyway, so I don't really care.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I'm unsure.
Seems like the Joy-Con at least have pretty good battery life. Joy-Con 2, is that what we're calling them?
Joy-Con 2, absolutely.
Probably.
If you are here to hear any negative things about the Switch 2, I would have 2 complaints. Number one, and it all has to do with the analogs. Number one, the analogs don't feel like they have a crazy range of motion for perfect accuracy. They are small. Yeah. And, I mean, right out of the box, I felt like my thumbs are kind of slipping off of them. There's no texture to them. They're very smooth. Oh. So if you're trying to be, like, super precise, I would get a DualSense dongle if it were me, and I'm going to do so. Number two, I don't understand why Xbox and Nintendo decide to put the left analog higher than the right. It's weird when you're trying to symmetrically hold a handheld console and one hand has to sit lower
Yeah.
to compensate for the low analog. I think that's weird.
It's a good call out. I know I like offset sticks on a controller.
Get out of here. Just kidding.
Like I have an Astro C40 that I play Rocket League with, that fancy controller. I think you got it for me for my birthday like a few years ago. Six,
Really?
I think it was maybe before Calvin was born. It was a long time ago. Um and I really like that one. You can adjust if they're symmetrical or offset. I like them offset when I'm playing Rocket League. But that's in a controller again when I'm not like holding the screen in front of my face. Because yeah, when you're like holding the unit, I do feel like it feels weird to like have the other hand like off a different direction.
Yes. But that's just it's a little complaint. I think overall, it's super cool. It feels kind of hefty. Even each Joy-Con felt like it was a little bit weighted, which I liked. I like when things have a little heft. I know they're going a lot of times for it's as light as possible, so it's comfortable to hold for 17 hours. But I like when it feels like it's got a little bit of gumption. Is that the word?
Yeah, it feels more premium and like an electronic device than the first Switch.
Yeah, it feels good.
The first Switch feels like a little more plasticky and like clunky.
You know what I think they should do is release two things: an OLED version. Second thing,
yeah, they probably will.
No touchscreen. I don't need it. I don't want to touch the screen because I don't want fingerprints on it to interfere with the visual quality. Get rid of the touchscreen for me. Lower the price by $50, and I would buy that one.
Yeah, I wonder how much a touch screen is compared to a non-touch screen.
Yeah, maybe the price wouldn't even go down.
It might not be much. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I know you watch a lot of movies like in bed, like either on a phone or something.
Absolutely.
Do you think that this might be like a bigger, more fun screen to watch that kind of thing on? And if you are going to do that, would you appreciate the touchscreen then, or are you still going to use the buttons?
It's hard. I'd maybe take the Joy-Cons off to watch a movie, so then maybe touchscreen would be good. But, it's a good question. I don't know.
I don't think most people will use it for movies. Maybe.
I want to, but I was talking to some friends and they said I don't think you can get Netflix on these.
Really?
But maybe a couple apps, like maybe Hulu, maybe something else.
That seems really weird. Why would Netflix not be on the Switch?
Yeah, I don't know. But I think someone looked it up for us on stream yesterday and was like, "No, you can't." He's gonna look it up.
Here. Is Netflix on Switch 2? No, the Nintendo Switch, according to Google Gemini, it does not support streaming apps like Netflix, Disney Plus, Prime Video, or even YouTube.
I have like all of those.
Yeah, I know. Those are like the best ones.
Oh boy. Well, I feel like that's weird. And then if you start downloading sketchy stuff, then Nintendo's gonna stop your Switch from working.
Right, they can brick it. We talked
so
about.
I can't have Windows apps on there. You know, I can't.
Yeah, they don't have a browser, I don't think.
Yeah, so there's no Netflix for me. So I'll just have to.
I'm seeing some posts here of people saying that they think since it's more powerful now and like can probably handle those apps just fine, that they probably will change that. But I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah, I hope so. I would use it.
I don't understand what the downside is to Nintendo because I think that they would just be happy like, hey, someone's still using the Switch. Getting more value out of the Switch.
I would love to see how a movie looked on that. Because that's a pretty large screen. Just nice. Yeah. It's kind of like you're going into iPad territory.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
You know?
Yeah, I agree. So I don't know. I bet they will change that. I don't know how long it will take, though. So I wonder if Netflix is probably looking at that and they're like, do we care if we spend like hundreds of thousands of dollars and lots of engineers' time to create a Netflix app for the Switch 2 if like the Switch 2 is mainly played by 10-year-olds that probably don't have like unfiltered access to Netflix? I don't know. That's a good, I don't know, product and sales question, I guess. But yeah, I'm glad to hear that you like it. I'm excited to try it out next time I'm at your place, maybe tomorrow, because I think I'll be over there for a little bit. That'll be fun. I do think the other downside, just for me, like looking in, Mario Kart looks awesome, but I like playing Mario Kart kind of in spurts. It's not like you played for 9 hours yesterday, and I think that's rare. I think like people have some friends over, play for an hour, and then,
yeah,
you know, play for an hour again in a week or something.
There's a little more to do because there's an open world part of the game, but
Yeah.
as you dive in, you'll realize I don't think there's that much to do in the open world. It's fun. If you're with friends, sure, it's cool. You can see each other and you're just hanging out in the forest in your cars.
Yeah,
Like,
because
that's
you can
cool.
explore together, right?
Yeah, and you
Yeah,
can just
that's
casually
kinda
go
cool.
slow and do that. But I agree with you. I played it for a long time yesterday, and I was like, I'm ready to go see if I can finish Dark Souls now.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So I think the other downside of the Switch 2 right now is just if you're not wanting to play Mario Kart for tons and tons of hours and you've already played most of Nintendo's games, you're probably looking at it like, what do I play on here next that I haven't already played elsewhere?
Yeah.
There's quite a few games. I made a list here, Devin, because I was curious like what your trajectory with the Switch 2 will look like over the next few months. We know on July 17th, Donkey Kong Bonanza comes out, but I think that is the next big Nintendo game that's coming to it. I imagine they'll have probably something else, maybe even this fall. If they like come up with a surprise, big Mario game or something this fall, that would be a huge win.
Yeah.
Other than that, I wanted to just highlight some of the other games I think that we have on there. Some of them I know you haven't. I think the ones that you haven't played yet, and maybe as we talk about them, it might. I'm interested to know your opinion on if you're like that's not enough to make me want to play it in the near term, and I'll just wait till like the new big Super Mario Galaxy 3 comes out or whatever, or if it will be. So Mario Kart World you're already playing. I think the other big one, or big ones like I said, Donkey Kong Bonanza in July. Deltarune is an indie game from the team, or I think it might be just be like one dude that made Undertale. Have you ever played Undertale?
Maybe. I know what it looks like.
Yeah. And I think its full release just came out, but it came out everywhere else same day, so like it's not exclusive. Pokemon Violet, I know you've been wanting to try a Pokemon game. It's got a free upgrade on Switch 2, so I could send you home with that cartridge. And it runs like it's 60 frames like it's supposed to now. So I know people are pretty high on that patch. Super Mario Brothers Wonder, I think, is like the best 2D Mario game in a long, long, long time. It's great. I think it has a free update as well, just to like make it perform a little bit better. But it already ran at like 60, so I don't know what that really did. Mario Odyssey, Mario 3D World, both also have free updates. I think on Mario 3D World that expansion called Bowser's Fury that came out, the frame rate did chug a bit there, so that one will probably run a bit better. Yeah, I don't know. And then other than that, some other games I have is the Mario 3D All Stars set with Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, Mario Galaxy. No Man's Sky just got a Switch 2 version, but I imagine the PlayStation 5 version is probably better, even though it has like the Switch 2 version has lots of cool features. Is also portable. I think you can like play it with mouse support, and it like has like Switch features and stuff. I have Kirby and the Forgotten Land. That one gets like a paid DLC upgrade. It's like $10, I think. Next month as well. And then Zelda, but unfortunately you just played Zelda like a couple months ago. And so there's quite a few other games here like Zelda Echoes of Wisdom and Link's Awakening and Luigi's Mansion and Mario Maker that I know you haven't played yet. But as a streamer, I think your priority is like, if these games have like 2 viewers, that's not like very beneficial. So I don't know, like what are your plans with the Switch 2 over the next little bit? Will
I
it
do
go
like when games are exclusive to the console. I think that's exciting.
It is. Dusk Bloods is the big one for 2026, right?
Yeah, because if they're on every platform and you're playing it on the Switch, you're almost, sad to say, you're almost playing it on the least powerful unit. Even still, maybe.
Sure.
You
totally.
know.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, some of these are tempting. I want remasters. I want graphical upgrades if possible. I like what you're saying about Pokemon Violet, 60 FPS, that type of thing. Like, and I would like to dabble, but people have said to play Arceus instead, and yada yada yada.
Yeah, Arceus is
There's a lot of games. If the upgrades are good enough, absolutely. I do want to use the system as much as I can. I don't want it to just sit there, obviously. but I don't know.
Yeah, that, I don't either, and I think that is like, as like an early adopter, that's probably like that's the thing to me. That's like, because I have played all these games already, and so that's like the reason I didn't. I mean, I do have a Switch too. It's just in spoiler for my children. It's going to be our Christmas present, and so it is sitting in my closet and will be there for 6 months because I don't feel like I'm missing anything, even though I'm going to miss Donkey Kong Bonanza, and that's the thing that's the only game that I really care about of that whole list because I've already played Mario Wonder, which is excellent, and Mario Odyssey and all the other games I just listed.
And then remind me, Metroid, Dusk Bloods, are those all next year?
Dusk Bloods is next year. Metroid Prime 4 is this year, I believe. I think it's on both Switch 1 and Switch 2 though.
Are those the only consoles it will be on?
Yeah, Nintendo owns Metroid, so it won't.
And are they going to run differently per console?
Oh yeah, I'm sure. The Switch 2. Well, I can't remember if Metroid 4, what's it called, Beyond, is coming to the first Switch or not. I'll look that up here on my phone while we're going. But yeah, it does. It runs better. I think it will run at 4K maybe not 120, 4K 60 or 1080 120. And you can play it with mouse controls on the Switch too, which I know you're just dying to play with mouse controls.
Absolutely.
You could plug in a USB mouse maybe. But I'm pretty sure it is also Metroid Prime Beyond on first Switch. Yes, it will be on the first Switch, but has a enhanced version for the Nintendo Switch 2. I love Metroid Prime, so I'm excited for that. I really wish they would release. They released a remaster of Metroid Prime, the first one, which I haven't gotten yet. I would like to get that. That might be like a good like precursor to 4. But in like 2008, I had for the Wii the Metroid Prime collection that had 1, 2, and 3 for the Wii, and it was excellent. So I wish they would re-release 2 and 3 before 4 came out. That seems like it would be a smart thing to do, in my opinion. But what do I know? So I don't know. Other than those couple of games, I think Hades 2 is going to, once it gets its version 1.0 release, is going to be on Switch before it's on PlayStation and Xbox. I think I heard, if I read that article correctly. So there are some things that are like Switch only, at least for a small period of time.
Yeah.
But even those things we're waiting. Like we don't know what the release date is for Metroid Prime yet. And Dusk Bloods is next year, and who knows if it's going to be February or November of next year. So I don't know. Lots to fill in. I'm excited to see what their next big Mario game is, because I do love those as well. Like, I hope it. I would absolutely die if they did like Mario Galaxy 3, but I don't think they're gonna do that.
Galaxy was awesome.
Galaxy rules. So, anyways, yeah, Switch 2 Mario Kart looks cool. I guess just touching on that for one more second before we close our Switch section here. Just looks crazy with 24 players.
Oh, it is. Yes, very.
I thought that would be a cool change, and maybe it is. And maybe they need to tweak some balance of items and like, but just watching you play knockout mode, which is a cool mode. I love the idea of like you're racing to the other side of the map and there's these 5 gates or 6 gates along the way, and there's 24 of you. So the first gate is only the top 20 positions I think are in, and then is it
16, 12, 8.
Is it just 4s all the way up? Very cool mode, but man, those first like 3 gates when there's still 24, 20, 16 players, it's brutal. Like there are bullet bills flying everywhere.
Oh man.
Lightning happens like every 20 seconds. And so you're dropping everything you just picked up.
And it encourages you to just use every item you get like instantly.
Immediately. And I feel like they've changed the balance of a few things. Like since there's so many players, I thought they would bump the like balance of items down. But it seems like from the 2 changes I'm about to mention, they want it to be chaos. They've made it so that when you hit somebody with something, you don't do like a full spin out and like your car stops. It's like a little like
Like a
jitter wobble for a second, and
Yeah.
then you're right back to full speed.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, why there's no impact then? If I hit you with a green shell and that's all that happens, like that's dumb. And so they want the whole pack to kind of be moving together. It seems from that change. I'm like, but why? I want the spread. Anyways, and then the other change is when you go over an item box, man, just even though there's like 7 or 8, 9 of them in a row, as soon as you go over it, the next one is popping up like within half a second. So you can just follow like right behind someone on the double, and you're gonna hit the next double.
Yep.
And I'm like, why? Like, I don't understand why they wanted so many items.
Yeah, it's in a weird state of balance right now. Like you said, no one ever takes the lead in that game. The first placeman is 20 feet in front of second, and second is 20 feet in front of everyone else.
Yeah, it doesn't, and so it doesn't feel like that mode has any strategic value. It's like, okay, I lucked out and didn't get hit by as many shells as the guy in second place, so I won. Which
yeah, sometimes for sure.
And which Mario Kart always has had like that bit of what do they call it, rubber banding, where the players that are farther back get better items so that it can help them catch up. And then blue shell and things that punish the people that are at the front of the pack and pulls them back, kind of pulling everyone back to center. But this seems the most extreme rubber banding, where everyone is just kind of forced together. It's chaos. And maybe they wanted just that one mode to be that way. But then even just watching like the Grand Prix at 24 players is very similar. When you played against the just the computer players is when it seemed the most like peaceful and like strategic racing, which is what I like from Mario Kart. Not that I played at the highest level, but like I want to drift around this corner and not have my drift just destroyed by 7 items. So I don't know. I think that's a weird change, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't mind being destroyed a couple times, but a little less often.
Yeah.
They're going to need to tweak it. I think they'll get a lot of complaints of like, it's almost unplayable.
Yeah.
It's just, I was comparing it to Dark Souls yesterday because it's just like constant getting defeated by things. If you get hit by one thing, you get hit by 7 things.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah.
You'll go from 3rd place to 21st in 2 seconds.
Which is nuts.
Oh, yeah.
And again, maybe that's what they wanted for that mode, but I don't feel like they have the mode that's for like the person that wants to have a good race. In Mario Kart 8, at least, and I don't know every setting in Mario Kart World, maybe this exists, but you can like set up your own Grand Prix and you can decide which items you want to play with and the like quantity. Are they going to be like high, medium, or low, or none? And just have like a pure drifting like race. And I like that part of Mario Kart better. Items are fun. I like having, I don't think no items is the way to go, but man, it just seems bonkers. Just watching, I was like, this is madness.
Woo.
So,
it is.
I was very, I don't know if turned off is the right word, but I think Mario Kart 8 has a good balance of it where like, yeah, there's items, and even they have that fancy item in Mario Kart 8 that is like the infinity symbol that gives you 8 items at once.
Oh, wow.
They like rotate around you and it's like, yeah, all 8 items. I'm like, there's a bit of chaos there for sure, but it seems more manageable for whatever reason. So I wonder what their feedback will be like and how they'll change it. With Mario Kart 8, they added like a bunch of content post launch with, I think they doubled the amount of tracks from 48 to 96 and new characters and stuff. And so they're going to have a lot of extra content for this game. So I hope they do some more modes, maybe add some more settings tweaks. Maybe in the lobby you can like vote for how crazy do we want the items to be in this knockout. Do we want it to be medium? Because you can vote on the stage, right? And everyone votes and it randomly chooses one. Be cool to be able to vote on that. Like, I want them low.
Be a great move.
Yeah.
Agreed. And it just changes per match.
Because then if it is like a group of 24 that want it to be crazy chaos, leave it high. But I do think that low would be like what I would want most of the time.
100%. I agree.
And I haven't even played it, and I just talked a whole bunch about it. So I guess any other thoughts you would add to that, Devin, or Do you agree?
I fully agree. I think the game is good. I think it's very fun, but it's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And what's cool, the coolest part about it all is the Switch 2 handles it perfectly. There's
Yeah.
explosions everywhere and people are bouncing off each other the whole race, and
Yes.
it never lagged.
Definitely got that Nintendo like high quality to it. Like characters like when you drive past someone like Luigi's like looking at you and like, they turn the steering wheel and like shells are flying, and
they've done a good job with like directional animations. Like if you accidentally skim a car on your left side, your left wheel kind of takes up off the ground without fully flipping you and stopping you. You'll just kind of get off balance for a second. That type of stuff. Super cool.
Yeah. Even that though, I saw that a few times. People run right into a head-on car where you would think they would crash, spin out, and then need to catch up to the group. But no, they just kind of wobble for a second. They're still going.
Even direct impact.
Yeah. And I'm like, what is going on? So I don't know. We'll see how that morphs. My guess is they won't change those things. And they'll just say like, yeah, if it's not like skill based enough for you, go play Gran Turismo or whatever. But
or just stick to time trials by yourself without friends.
Right. And I'm like, that's like, I feel like there should be a middle here. Because I feel like on the Wii version, we had a lot of fun playing like the online mode and trying to get our online score higher, whatever that was.
Yeah.
Like your multiplayer rank level. And that required like at least a little bit of freedom where like I can race my own race and like be cruising. Even though I know I'll get hit by something occasionally, I'm going to try and hit people too, but it seemed more I don't know, skill based than where you would see like these names of people from Japan just like crushing these shortcuts and you're like, he beat me by 40 seconds. Like, you know, whereas if you're only winning by 2 seconds in knockout that went halfway across the island, it seems weird. Cool. Well, yeah, check out our unboxing. We also have a user interface and setup and settings guide for the Switch 2. Please check that out as well. Should be up shortly, probably before this goes live as well. But I think that concludes our thoughts on the Switch, Devin. Just jumping in right into it here at the beginning. I guess really quick, we'll do a short Super Movie Brothers, just because I think we watched a few different things. I'll go first. I watched a couple movies with my wife last weekend when we had our, was that just last weekend? I guess it was. We had our anniversary and we just did a little staycation, got some time away from the kids. We watched Caddo Lake on HBO with Dylan O'Brien, and interesting movie. I liked how it kind of toyed with you and you weren't exactly sure like which timeline and time period people were in at certain times, and then it kind of like hooks back together at the end and you're like, oh, okay, that's how that makes sense. But kind of confusing while you're watching it.
Oh, it never made sense to me. I finished it and never looked up the conclusion and just accepted it.
My wife was like, it made sense to her, but I was asking her questions at the end and she's like, because it kind of went over my head a little bit too, but it was pretty good. It was a little odd, but it was okay. And then we went to Mission Impossible on Saturday. It was fun. The theater just packed and packed full of I don't know what you would call them. Old people. Just like people in their 70s, 80s.
Crazy.
Just cheering for and loving on Tom Cruise. And I guess just real quick, my thoughts on Mission Impossible Final Reckoning. I liked it a lot better than part 1 of this, like, what would you call it? This
the last doublet.
Yeah, there you go. Then part 1. I thought the callbacks they had to earlier Mission Impossible movies were kind of fun. They like pulled in characters from Mission Impossible 1, Mission Impossible 3. The Rabbit's Foot was like
just cameos, right? Or were they actually...
cameos? And then some of the characters were actually pretty prominent, like the dude that was married to kind of like the Inuit lady, or like the Alaskan lady or whatever. The dude that was married to her was the CIA agent from Mission Impossible 1.
Oh, right. It touched back on there.
Fell down. Yep. So some of those tiebacks were cool, and they had a lot of those kinds of things, because it seems like this is probably Tom Cruise's last
That's my assumption.
Yeah, that's what it seemed like. The big set piece scenes were one of them inside like a submarine.
Coolest part of the movie to me.
Very cool. Like,
Yes.
I was surprised at how long that sequence was.
Oh my goodness.
Quiet,
same.
long, creepy down there.
Full just
The
rotations.
thing's like rolling while he's in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, yeah, bonkers. Like, we were, even though you know he's not really down there that deep, it's just creepy. Like, underwater is just creepy.
Oh, 100%, yes.
And then he like loses his special decompression suit that he has to use in order to get back up, and so he like almost died. Anyways, cool scene. The other one on the airplanes at the end I thought was pretty good as well, but the submarine scenes are better in my opinion.
Yes, agreed.
But yeah, good. I liked it. 7.5 out of 10, maybe 8. That's probably what I'd give that.
Good rating. Yep. Agreed.
You saw it as well, right?
I did. I thought it was very unique for a Mission Impossible movie in comparison to others.
Yeah, I can see that.
The antagonist thing, entity, whatever thing, it's weird to me.
It is.
There's a lot of options there. It's kind of like Ultron. It's like,
right.
It's almost too broken.
Too abstract.
For human. You know what I'm saying.
Uh-huh.
Very unique. I thought that it was good. Touching at times. I had a good time. Ate a lot of popcorn.
Yeah. Yeah, that is definitely the draw of the movie theater to me. So
yes, I went to 2 movies back-to-back days. Went to Mission Impossible for like a mortgage company event with our dad.
Fun.
And they gave out a sound bar and some frisbees beforehand. And
you didn't win?
I didn't refer anybody, so I wasn't in the raffle.
Last time I went to one of those events with Dad, I won an Apple Watch.
And you pretended not to be there. You just like laid down.
No, I stood up. I was like, oh, that's me.
You won an Apple Watch? Uh-huh. Oh no, these items were not that great.
It was like 8 years ago.
They were like, here's a frisbee and here's a little projector that shoots the galaxy on your kid's cieling. I was like,
our kids use that. That's nice.
Maybe an iPad would have.
It would have been nice.
Been a little better.
Yeah.
Anyways, I went to another movie the next day by myself at 10 p.m.
Dang.
And it was a horror film. So I had to walk out of the theater afterwards in the empty parking lot.
Yeah.
Or wait, was it that late? Either way. I went to a movie called Bring Her Back by the makers of Talk to Me, I believe.
I think so. Like the same writers, directors. I don't remember.
It definitely is very different than Talk to Me. Very interesting. I don't want to spoil it because it's so new. But I thought it was pretty amazing, to be honest.
Really?
I was like, yeah. I think some things in the movie were relatively predictable, but the way that it turned out and what was happening was super cool and super unique and eerie and creepy in its own way, but really not scary. Just kind of a well-made, strange, aesthetic movie that I think everybody should see.
Did you like it more or less than Talk to Me?
Talk to Me is more typical horror to me.
Yeah.
You got friends and they're hyped up and things aren't scary until they are, and then this was more artistic.
Okay.
Or something.
More like unique.
Yes, much more unique.
Okay.
But I enjoyed them both.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool. I've heard good things as well about Talk to Me specifically. My one friend that really likes horror movies, he's like, you got to watch Talk to Me because I haven't seen it yet. But yeah, if this one is less like on the horror scary side and more on like the creepy unique side, I could probably get my wife to like watch that one first. I would imagine
it might scare her, but I don't think that it should.
But I don't think that it should. Says the guy who watched it by himself at 10 p.m.
Oh, I went right to sleep too. I didn't even think about it. I don't know.
You cuddled right up with that demon.
I was looking for it. Yeah, I was lonely.
That's funny. All right, and then the last couple things here for Super Movie Brothers, just some announcements. Stranger Things season 5 is coming out this holiday. I think part 1 is Thanksgiving. I think they call them volumes. Volume 1 is Thanksgiving. Volume 2 is Christmas. And then the finale, since I think this is the last season, is New Year's Day. So they're kind of having a boom, boom, boom.
It's a bold approach to me because it's like, hey, left you with a bunch of cliffhangers for a long time. And guess what? This last season, it's going to be full of cliffhangers because you're going to get a month gap here and then a And then not so much of a gap between 2 to 3, it
Yeah.
sounds like, but it is interesting.
I think they did the same thing with season 4 in 2 volumes with like
I don't remember
month
that.
gap.
Interesting.
I'm pretty sure.
I did not know.
And so I think they probably like how that helped their bottom line when they're like, hey, we can get these people to sign up for 1 month to watch Stranger Things, or split it in volumes. We'll get them to sign up for 2 months.
I said we split this episode into 4 volumes.
That's true. The one piece will come out every year. You need to stay subscribed for a year.
Yes.
So, I'm excited for that. I like Stranger Things. Most of the cast is like quite a bit older now.
Oh yeah, they're all adults.
Yeah, it's kind of funny, but that's definitely been like Netflix's biggest mass market thing. So it is fun. It's a cool like retro Goonies kind of vibe.
Oh yeah,
in
I
the
love
80s
it.
or whatever.
Yeah.
It's the vibe is like excellent. So hopefully it's good. And then Blumhouse announced that they're making a new movie based on a video game. Devin, Blumhouse, if they were going to make a movie from a video game, what would you think? It's a very popular one.
Probably Resident Evil.
Nope. It came out in probably the last 5 years. It's like an smaller kind of indie style horror game.
Probably.
Kind of, I say horror, but you play it with a group of people.
Probably Demonologist.
No, but I think
which is like the other one. Paranormal Activity.
Not paranormal, but it does start with a P.
It's Poltergeist.
No.
It's
PH.
Five Nights at Freddy's.
No, PH.
Phasmophobia.
Phasmophobia.
That's basically Demonologist.
Okay. You've played that one, right?
But yes. Interesting.
Yeah. I wonder if the movie will lean more towards the horror end, or more towards like the kind of halfway you're doing it with your friends, kind of laughing end.
I hope that it's good. Also, I didn't hear the greatest things about Until Dawn and still haven't seen that.
Yeah, it's not supposed to be good.
So I'm hoping it doesn't go the same route where everyone's like, that wasn't good.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see.
Yep, I agree. All right, well, that's it for Super Movie Brothers today. We're going to jump into the show since we talked quite a bit about the Switch too in that segment, but that'll be good. We can pull it out separate, I think, for YouTube, which will be like a good kind of initial thoughts on the Switch 2 launch. So that'll be fun. This is a podcast all about board games and video games. We do it every single week, and you can get access to our videos 3 days early at our Patreon at patreon.com/supergamebrothers. You get our weekly episodes. We also do like some bonus stuff. We did an episode on each episode of HBO's The Last of Us season 2. That was a mouthful, but you can see episode 6 here and episode 7 as well. So please check us out over there. You can follow the Patreon totally for free, but if you do throw us $1 or $2 a month, you get some cool perks like that. And $1 or $2 a month helps us to keep the lights on. So appreciate that. And then we also have a giveaway going on, which ends in like a month and a half, I think, for a board game bundle. If you want to get a board game collection started of some great games that are like, family weight, maybe a little bit simpler. 1 or 2 of them might be a little more complex, or a gaming gift card if that's more of your thing. So please join that as well. Totally free to join. We'll just send you, it's like our newsletter, an email every week that's like, hey, these are the videos we did this week. So no, we're not, we don't ever sell data or anything. Just a newsletter. So please join that as well. supergamebrothers.com. Okay, and that brings us to the regular run of show. And first up is new games to subscription services. And we always start with Board Game Arena, where you can play board games online with your friends totally for free. They do have a premium subscription as well, where you can play or start tables or games with their premium games, but you can join any game for free on the free mode. So awesome place to play games. Tower Up was a very popular game that came out last year. Simple rules, complex minds is the subheading here, and I think that is kind of right. You're building like these towers in these different sections of the city, trying to score points by doing that. It's supposed to be great. I don't think it was designed by the good Dr. Reiner Knizia, but it kind of reminded me of some of his games where he has you like building on a shared board together. So that one is a big one. Inside Job is the next one. It's a trick-taking game where you're working together, but one of the people at the table is a traitor. Hidden traitor games are very popular in the board game space where someone might be working against you, so you have to try and figure that out while you're playing a game.
It's like Among Us.
Yeah, like Among Us, but board game.
Right there. Someone amongst you is not who they seem.
Ah, that's funny. Yeah. So check that one out. And then for a limited time, which I
Ooh,
thought
cool.
was kind of a weird move.
Weird.
The Lord of the Rings Fate of the Fellowship, which is a cooperative game from Matt Leacock, who designed Pandemic, one of the most famous board games of all time. And this is basically Lord of the Rings Pandemic, but it's only going to be on Board Game Arena for, like I said, a limited time, and it doesn't have the full game. It has 10 playable characters instead of 13, and 4 objective cards out of 24. So I guess they want to give you like a taste, but then they're going to pull it, I guess, and want you to play it by the actual game so you get the full experience. Very interesting and weird way to do that, in my opinion, but this game is super popular right now. Like, a lot of people are very pumped for it, so this is probably a smart idea. I am not a huge fan of cooperative games, so this one's not really for me, but if I was going to play one, I do love the Lord of the Rings, so that would be maybe a fun vibe. And I think that's it for Board Game Arena this week. So then we've got, as far as video games are concerned, coming to Game Pass. If you have Xbox Game Pass, they have quite a few games this week, or for the first half of June, excuse me. None of them like super bangers, in my opinion, because I feel like the last couple months have been just on fire with like some big games like Doom, the Dark Ages, and I feel like they had another game right before Doom from Bethesda. Oh yeah, the Obsidian, or not Obsidian,
Claire Obscure.
They had Claire Obscure, good call out, and they had the
Oblivion,
the remake of Oblivion. That's right. Yeah, look at you, you're just smart.
I've been taking memory supplement. That's a fun fact.
Okay.
I've been taking a memory supplement that comes from jellyfish for 3 weeks.
The energy drink you had right here has lion's mane root or something.
I'm all nootropic up right now.
All the animals are helping your brain.
Yeah.
Jellyfish, lions.
I almost forgot where I was a minute ago, though. I don't know that it's working.
All right, but available today on Game Pass, Baldur's Gate and Gate 2 Enhanced. I really liked Baldur's Gate 2 growing up, but I know.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
So fun.
3 is the big deal right now, very Dungeons and Dragons adjacent. On June 10th, Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine, which is the first one before 2 that just came out last year. On June 10th, Barbie Project Friendship. That's the one you want to play, probably.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. June 11th, perfect.
June 11th. And I guess I should say those first ones are on Ultimate, and Baldur's Gate is on Standard as well. Barbie is on both Ultimate and Standard. So there you go. Kingdom 2 Crowns is on Ultimate and PC on June 11th. And EA Sports Football Club 25 via EA Play. Whew, mouthfuls here. June 12th on Ultimate and PC. The Altars on June 13th is a day one game with Game Pass. I'm going to read this little blurb here, and then we'll let Devin read the next one if there's another game we are unsure about. The Altars is a sci-fi survival game where you play as Jan, stranded on a hostile planet. Create alternate versions of yourself, each shaped by different life choices, to survive, gather resources, and navigate deep moral dilemmas. Your past becomes your crew in this unique sci-fi survival. Interesting premise. I wonder what the gameplay is like, though. Anyways, FBC Firebreak. This is the
one I'm excited about.
Yeah, it's from Remedy, I think, who does Alan Wake and Control. This one is also on PlayStation Plus Extra. So day one is going to be free on both. On June 17th.
Yeah, that's perfect.
I'll let you read that one.
A cooperative first-person shooter set within a mysterious federal agency under assault by otherworldly forces. As the years-long siege on the agency's headquarters reaches its boiling point, only Firebreak, the Bureau's most versatile unit, has the gear and the guts to plunge into the building's strangest crises, restore order, contain the chaos, and fight to reclaim control. I like that they put control in there.
Yeah, I know.
My buddy Paul said that this is actually like a cooperative shooter type game that is in the Control universe.
Yeah, yep, I think you're right.
And that's maybe what that said. I was just reading the words, and then maybe it said that.
I don't think it said those words here, so you're good. Yeah, I think it looks pretty fun. It is interesting that they decided not to sell the game for like 20, 30, 40 bucks, and instead they put it directly on Game Pass, probably got a generous amount of money from Microsoft to do so, and put it on PlayStation Plus and probably got a generous amount of money from PlayStation to do so. But because it's on both, I imagine the amount of money that they got from PlayStation and Microsoft lower than if it was just on one, because they're like, our draw to PlayStation Plus is to have games that are not elsewhere, and if you're putting it somewhere else for free same day. Anyways, kind of interesting. It makes me think, I think the obvious thing people will think is like, the game must not be great and is going to struggle to sell copies if they think this is the only way they can make money. But I hope that's wrong, because I think it looks cool. Next up, great one, Crash Bandicoot 4. If you played Crash Bandicoot growing up, this fourth one's really great. Recommend that all day long, June 17th. And then this one, Lost in Random, The Eternal Die. I played Lost in Random, the first one. But this is a new game in that universe, available day one with Game Pass. Lost in Random, The Eternal Die blends dynamic, real-time action, tactical combat, and risk-reward dice mechanics for thrilling second-to-second battles. So check that one out. I think I like the cool, like, it has kind of like a creepy gothic kind of art style, but a little bit cutesy, where like the dice are like alive and stuff. So I don't know, it's kind of fun. So I don't know, some big ones there, but again, no Doom this month. But I do think FBC Firebreak will be fun to try out. Crash 4 is a big get, and so are both Baldur's Gate games. So I don't know, not too shabby for the first half of June. All right, on Epic Game Store, they're still doing their like two, what do they call it? Like mystery games. But since we're recording on Saturday today instead of Thursday, instead of a Wednesday, excuse me, because of the Switch 2 stuff and the time that we had. So we know what these are this week. Deathloop, which came out a few years ago, but was very well loved. Totally free on the Epic Game Store. So add that to your library. You can see here, already did.
Oh, whoa.
And then the other one.
Did you ever play it? Super fun.
I started it, but I didn't get very far.
Yeah, difficult.
Yeah, it is kind of tricky. And then the other one is called Ogu and the Secret Forest. And it says here it's a 2D adventure game with hand-drawn characters and various types of puzzles. I like 2D games. I like adventure games. I like puzzles. I don't know that I like the name Ogu, but it kind of looks like a platypus dude trying to be like a Link in Zelda. So I might give that one a try. You can see here, added it to the library. So,
whoa.
Yeah.
Holy.
So if you have Epic Game Store, add both of those to your library for free. Is that all of them? Oh man, there's still more. Okay, then for the month of June, Prime, Amazon Prime always has games they give away for free every month. Worst month in a while, in my opinion, for Prime, because I think in May they did what's it called? Star Wars stuff, and they gave away a bunch of Star Wars games. And then April, I think, was a strong month as well. Let me get out of here. Down here a little ways. All right, free games this June. I think for me, like the highlight is this puzzle sci-fi game called The Abandoned Planet. But other than that, maybe this train game is cool, but not a lot of great ones in my opinion. First up, Mordheim, City of the Damned. All now available.
Wow.
Yeah. Then we'll jump to you, Devin, for the next now available one.
The Abandoned Planet is now available. When a wormhole tears open in space, an astronaut is hurled down and crashes on a distant planet. But where is she?
Oh, who knows? She could be anywhere. You seen Interstellar? She's anywhere. June 12th, Station to Station. It's a minimalist and relaxing game about building railway connections.
Death Squared. Prove your teamwork skills in this game as you solve puzzles together or die trying.
That's kind of a fun co-op game. It's kind of funny. I have
Oh.
it on the Switch. It's like, it's comical. Dark Envoy on the 19th brings classic RPG mechanics with a skill-based combat system built on classes and specializations. Blends it with tactical options of approaching your battles.
Fate, Undiscovered Realms. A new evil and ancient secrets threaten the very balance between the realms. take on the quest to find the mysterious Book of Fate.
Love it. On the 26th, Thief Deadly Shadows. You are Garrett, the Master Thief. That one's all about stealing stuff and stealth.
Jupiter Hell. Set in a 90s flavored sci-fi universe, Moons of Jupiter, this game pits a lone space marine against overwhelming demonic forces.
And Gallery of Things Reveries. Explore nature and tech through Dada-inspired hidden object puzzles. I don't know what that means. Do you know what Dada-inspired means?
Not at all.
Well, someone tell us in the comments what that means. I think that's it for new games to subscription services. Okay. All right, that brings us to what we've been playing. I think I'll go first just because we have my stuff pulled up, but I've been playing kind of a smorgasbord of different games. Last week we talked about this game being added to PlayStation Plus Extra as part of the Days of Play promotion, where they added a few extra. It's called Another Crab's Treasure. Man, this game is really fun. It's a Souls-like game, quite a bit easier than like, Dark Souls, but there's some brutal boss fights as well. You are this little crab whose shell, he calls his home, his shell is stolen, and so he's going to get it back. And there's a silly story about like these weird other crabs and sea life that he has to talk to do so. Coolest part about this game, in my opinion, is it takes like Dark Souls stuff and shortcuts and that kind of thing that you expect. So you've got like that cool base already, and you've got blocking and dodging and attacks, upgrading your fork, your weapon, and that kind of stuff. There are tons of different shells just scattered throughout the land, and when you block, your shell takes damage unless you do a perfect release and parry it. So your shell is going to take damage. It's part of the game. And so you have two bars here. You have your health bar on the bottom left and your shell bar down there. Each type of shell has a different bonus that can be activated with square, with these cool like purple stars that you build up by doing regular attack damage to enemies. So this one, he's in a soda can right now, and he does it's called Fizzle or something, and it shoots fizzle bubbles out that heat seek to enemies. One of my favorites is an ice cream cone, and it does freeze, which slows down all the enemies around you. So each of the shells has different stats. Like this shell does 30 defense. That's how much defense health it has before it breaks. When your shell breaks, you're ultra vulnerable until you find another one. But they're kind of all over the place, so you'll generally find one. And I think there's 80 different shells in the game. So you're constantly popping between these different shells. This one does freeze, and then you can learn these extra strong attacks with R2 and stuff. And I think because of the shell swapping mechanism, which is really fun. One of them, sushi, and when you push square, you take a bite out of the shell, and it heals you, but it takes the health of the shell down a little bit. So that one's fun. I can't remember what. One of them's a coffee mug, and it you take a little shot of caffeine. It makes you really fast for a few seconds. So they're all different and silly and kind of based on what the item is. And then you're finding these special purple crystals that will let you go to the permanent upgrade tree, skill tree, and upgrade stuff. So pleasantly surprised with this game. It's very fun. So it's probably more David's level of Souls-like game than Devin's been just pounding Dark Souls with a character that's not wearing any armor, and here I am, I'm struggling against these crabs. So I don't know, I'd recommend this if you like Souls-like games. It's not as far as like the story is concerned and like perfect precision combat, it's not like on From's level or anything. But I really like it. I really like the shell swapping mechanism. Like, just so fun to. You don't have to even go into a menu and like switch your weapon to do something different into attack. It's like, oh, I see the bottle cap over there. I like that special. I'm gonna run over there, swap shells real quick. You can just swap on the sprint.
Yeah, it's nice to not
You
have
like
to
sprint
pause.
and you're just pushing triangle as you're sprinting, and you'll hop right into it, and so it like changes the gameplay up from second to second. So really like that. So another Crab's Treasure, very cool. Next game, not quite so hot on. And I'm bummed about it because I was hoping to be. It's Thank Goodness You're Here. Love the art style, and like the fun and comical vibe it's going for. It's a comedy game that was published, I think, by Panic, who did like the Playdate, that little yellow device I have, and they do some other games as well. I think the reason I beat this game. I'm done with it. I almost got the platinum, but there were a couple like missable things I didn't quite get to, and I'd need to go back, and I don't want to do it. I think it's too British for me. It's like it's set in I don't even remember exactly where, but somewhere in I think Britain, and like the jokes are very British, I believe. Very weird, some of them. And I was just bummed that in like a comedy game, I don't feel like I ever really laughed. Like there were some puns I was like, oh, that was kind of clever. And some scenes that I was like, that was a dark place for that scene to go, and kind of like silly. But I feel like maybe as an American, I just didn't quite get the vibe.
Understandable. I watched you play it a little bit, and I was very lost.
Yeah. As far as like, and if the comedy's not hitting in this game, there's really not much else to the game, because all you can do is move your character, jump, and then you push square to smack things, which is how you interact with things. And so it's kind of fun to just jump around, smack every object, see what happens, and see what people say when you do stuff. But I don't know, it's like it probably took me 3 hours to finish it. And I guess I'm glad I finished it. But again, I just wanted to laugh. I wanted it to be funny. There were like some moments where like a dude's naked all of a sudden. I'm just like, what is going on? It's rated M. And it's like surprisingly dark at moments too, which is like my kind of humor. I love like a dark humor.
Mm-hmm.
But it also, I think it was just too British for me. Not, I lived in Europe for a couple of years. I really like that kind of vibe, but I just don't think that I fully understand the culture like as well. Very cool vibes, like it changes to this cool old-timey feel in like menus and like some cutscenes and stuff that's like live action, and then it goes back to the cartoon vibe. But so I don't know, a miss for David, but I did finish it. I just wanted to see it through. Not very long game. And then I started a puzzle game called Lorelie.
And the laser eyes. I
and the
know what this
laser
is
eyes.
kind of for some reason.
It's by Annapurna, and I really like the games they make. There's a puzzle game. You are at this hotel, and you're trying to figure out like why you're there and what's going on there. Basically, it seems like very puzzle heavy, and it kind of reminds me of Blueprints in the way that like you got to take notes while you're playing.
I see.
And I really like it so far. As far as like the puzzles I'm solving, I'm still very confused as to what's going on.
Do you like the black and white?
I do. Yeah.
Okay.
It looks better when you're playing it than we're seeing here on the YouTube video, in my opinion. It is a little less like, I don't know the right word here. You have, maybe obtuse is the right word. It's a little less confusing than Blueprints, in my opinion, because you have a menu and your character has a photographic memory, is what they call it. So every document that you ever look at is saved in there. So you can always go back and look to things just in the pause menu, which is nice. You also have like a calculator. And so there are like some math puzzles, and you can just, I did them on my phone because it's faster, but so it has more tools to help you remember stuff faster than like, oh, I remember seeing this 4 hours ago, but I don't remember what it was or even where I'd look. The document's in the menu, so you can look, which is nice. So I like it so far. We'll see if it hits the highs of Blueprints, because Blueprints was really great, but it's cool. I don't know they have a ton else to say about it right now, but it's good.
Well, I played a couple games.
Yeah, you already kind of briefed us on Mario Kart. So
Yeah, we've gone over Mario Kart. I continued Alan Wake 2, and I just sent it to you, and it didn't go to you.
It's all right.
I really like Alan Wake 2 for what it is. It's very creative. It's very random. Since we have the DLC, there's
Watching you play, I was surprised at how beautiful the graphics are. Like, it's a very pretty game.
very pretty and very unique. We were like this chick, and she worked in like the coffee place, and then all of a sudden she had shotguns in the back where you thought the plates would be in the bar, and all of a sudden we're outside, and all these zombies are chasing us, but it's like fun. It's not like horror, and everything's pink, like we're in a Barbie house, and like weird music going on, and really random concerts. All of a sudden you're in an entire concert, and you're running through the concert, fighting zombies while you're in a concert. The puzzles are very difficult. If you're not fully searching the game, very hard to find the hints you need to continue. Without chat or YouTube or something, we wouldn't have got through specific sections, or it would have taken a lot longer.
Okay.
Very difficult to play. There's a lot of putting every hint you find in the game. You're going to continuously find hints the entire time you're in the game, photographs, and you're putting them on
I'm
a
excited
wall.
for that. You're like
Oh my
connecting
goodness.
like the crime pieces together, it seemed like.
Yeah, for me, it's a little bit excessive. It's like every 5 minutes I need to go back into that room and put more pieces up, and I'm like, what was here and here? But it helps you tremendously. If you're ever lost, just go back to your board, and you can kind of find your way through.
Okay.
Super creative game. The combat is fun, a little bit clunky like Resident Evil, but not as clunky. It's easy to understand. The game is pretty.
I didn't know they were going to do the same kind of flashlight vibe, but you do a lot of that.
It's one of my least favorite parts of the game. I think that it's cool because it's eerie and kind of feels like Alan Wake 1, but it's overused in some sections. It's like, do I really need to hold this flashlight on this enemy for 9 seconds to make just one of them disappear when there's 36 more behind him? You know?
Interesting.
It's not perfect. It's very difficult. You really want to immerse yourself in it. Probably not take breaks and play other games so you can remember stuff, and really use your hint board and try to find upgrades and search corners, because every time you search a place, you'll get manuscripts which help to increase your gun's potential and that type of thing. It's cool. It's not my favorite game, but it's kind of like Silent Hill 2 to me. It's unique in its own way, fun in its own way, but not my favorite game.
Yeah. Do you wish it was creepier, or do you wish the gunplay was better? What are like the things you wish?
I don't love the enemies that much. I don't like that they have just like this like fog around them, and you have to outshine the fog with your flashlight.
Yeah.
I just want to shoot the stuff.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
And their thing isn't really like focusing so much on the enemies. It's what are all these hints? And then at random times, let's just scare the crap out of you with a random instant jump scare over the screen.
Oh, really?
Constantly.
Huh.
Oh man, there was one section, it was like every 3 minutes. Just I was like, bro, stop it.
Wow.
I almost fell out of my chair multiple times. I like when something's scary, not when it's forcing itself to scare you.
Yeah, I'm generally like a fan of like the sense of dread more than like the jump scare.
Yeah, the jump scares are just out of control. I mean, it's basically, not to hate on the game, but it's basically Flashlight Simulator. A lot of clues all the time, and then random jump scares that just drive you nuts. But the combat actually feels good. The story's cool. Overall, it's good.
We got the deluxe version that has the like DLC packs. I think you played at least one of them, right?
At least one. I don't think the concert was one, but maybe.
I don't know. What'd you think of the one you did play?
The DLC was one of my favorite parts of the game. It was the part where you were the like bartender, and it was goofy and all pink, and
so it like changed up the vibe quite a bit.
Oh, completely, yes, for like 30 minutes.
Okay, cool.
It was so random.
I'm excited to play it. I want to play the first Alan Wake because I've never played it before I do, so I'm probably quite a ways out from getting to this, but I'm excited to try it.
Yeah, I mean, I recommend it. It's just it's a unique type of game for sure. I have friends that said I couldn't get through this. I couldn't understand the puzzles, so I stopped playing.
Yeah.
Which to each their own. I get
Okay.
it. The other game that I have been playing besides Mario Kart World is one of the goats. One of the goats of all video games. There it is. Look at him go. Dark Souls Remastered. I didn't know that. I was hesitant to purchase this. I was like, it's the first one. It's going to kind of suck.
Yeah.
But man, the map design is so clean and so good. It's exactly FromSoft to a T. It's like, oh, that ladder's in a really weird spot. I would have never found it if I didn't pan my camera right here. And it unlocked a secret, which saves me 20 minutes of running. Lovely.
Yeah.
It's fun to find weapons. There's RNG with drops from killing enemies. So if you continuously die and kill the same enemies, there's a chance of getting better stuff. Yada, yada. Just like any Souls game. It's very dark. Upgrading your character hardly does anything. Your stats hardly play a role. You can choose to parry, use a shield, or just two-hand a weapon. That type of thing. Without guides, I think it would be really hard to see everything.
Yeah, it seemed like there were some things like, how would I figure that out? Like you cut off a certain enemy's tail that turns into a sword.
Oh yeah, tails are huge. It's like if the enemy has a tail, make sure to cut it off before you kill it. That type of thing. A lot of secrets in these games that are super cool. If you're wearing this outfit piece and you talk to this guy, but you had talked to that girl beforehand at some point, then you'll get this extra cutscene, and it's like, it's a well-made game, but for the average player, you're gonna miss a lot. I think.
Which I think is part of like From's special sauce is they get like the people that are that love their game so much that they will play through it 6 times, look for the different outfit builds and the different like cutscenes that you can only find in a very specific way.
And that would be me.
Yeah.
I could do that with this game, even though it's number 1. I'm back on a Souls kick. I dove into this and I was like, I forgot how much I love FromSoft games.
Mm-hmm.
I almost think, don't hate me, but I almost think Dark Souls and Bloodborne and Sekiro are more fun than Elden Ring.
Okay. Interesting.
I like Elden Ring.
Hot take.
But I don't love the aesthetic of Elden Ring like I do Bloodborne.
Bloodborne's aesthetic is better.
Sekiro's a unique aesthetic.
Yep.
Dark Souls is probably the closest to Elden Ring, but
aesthetic wise, yeah.
I don't know. I like the linear nature, which really isn't linear. There's a ton of corridors and walkways and stairs and high and low places, doors that you haven't unlocked yet, random items in your inventory that you would never know how to use if you don't look them up. A lot of secret things in a linear style game. It's just, they're perfectly made games, in my opinion. I think it's almost unbeatable for me.
Yeah. I think I understand what you mean about them being, you prefer it to Elden Ring, because I think I do too. Like, I think your favorite game is Bloodborne, right? And I think this one probably gives you similar vibes in that there's like a specific linear path. You can sometimes branch off and like do this side boss first or whatever. But
yes.
It's kind of like, it's more contained and like on purpose in that way. Where Elden Ring feels more like Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom to me. Like here's the world, go do whatever you want.
Yeah.
And there are like some gates, like you have to fight Margoth. What's his name? That's not Margaret.
I don't.
In Elden Ring,
I
you
know
go
who
like
you're
up and
talking
left. There's that one dude you like kind of have to fight early.
Yeah.
And they do have like some gates with certain bosses, but it like that game's vibe is more about like exploration and exploring the map.
Yeah.
And this one is like, okay, how do I get past the next boss? And can I unlock a cool shortcut and figure out what these very specific like items in my inventory that I found that I don't understand yet do instead?
And it's everyone versus my hideous character.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's just like my character's so derpy, and how on earth am I going to get through all of the forces in this game in a linear fashion when I'm obviously underpowered compared to most things? There are ways to play it perfectly, though. We've had a lot of people guiding us to the broken weapons in the game and that type of thing. But for the average player, you're going to just get absolutely destroyed by everything, and you slowly just grind your character. I think what they should have done with Elden Ring is make multiplayer super seamless. So you could join in the lobby and just go explore the open world together the whole time. I don't need to put a fiery finger on the ground and you need to find it in your world and touch it, and then we can play one boss together and then you're kicked out of my world.
Right.
It's a weird approach in my opinion. Just if you're gonna make this massive open world game and you are gonna add multiplayer, I think just
Commit.
let us play together.
Yeah.
The whole time. But like even the game like this, this could be fun with a friend.
Yeah, I agree. Now that you've played, I don't know how far you are. I would guess 2/3
Yeah,
through.
that's what I'm thinking.
What do you? What's kind of your ranking? Bloodborne's your number one. Elden Ring's somewhere below that. I know you've played this one. You've played a little bit of Dark Souls 2. I think you've played most of Dark Souls 3. But I don't think you've played their DLCs or anything. And then you've played Sekiro. Where would this one fall, I guess, and how does it compare to the others?
Without thinking too deeply, I'm just gonna go Bloodborne, Dark Souls 3, Dark Souls 1, Sekiro.
Oh, more than Sekiro.
I like the posture mechanic.
So stinking hard.
Is it called posture in
I think
Sekiro?
So. Yeah.
I like the mechanic, but it didn't feel as Soulsy to me because you were focused on just mastering that mechanic.
That's true. It definitely feels the most different.
Yeah.
I think it's, in my opinion, probably the hardest.
It's very difficult.
It's very hard. But yeah, okay. So this one's right up there.
Super fun. Yeah, I can tell it's a little bit older. The graphics aren't perfect, but the way the map's laid out and the funky bosses and just it feels so much like a Souls game. Sekiro feels kind of like a Souls game. Mm-hmm. Elden Ring feels like its own complete thing. Mm-hmm. And then you have Bloodborne, and Dark Souls 3 feels just like a Souls game as well.
Yeah.
And it's prettier and very good.
Yeah, I'm excited to see where this leads you because it seems like you're back on in Souls Land.
I just wish there were more.
I think you're gonna stay in Souls Land for a while.
I just might.
Yeah. So
it's just entertaining. It's funny for people to watch you just suffer and.
Yeah, I'm excited to see if you when you have a break between some of these games, if you I know like Lies of P just had their thing we'll talk about in a little bit too, so you'll probably play that. I'm excited to see if you like Another Crab's Treasure as like a nice little break between these ones, because I think you'll enjoy it. I think that what's it called, shell mechanic is unique enough that you're like, okay, this feels different, even though it's definitely not as hardcore. But man, I'm probably 7 bosses in, I would say. Some of them tough. It took me 15 tries or something. But that's cool, Devin. You've been playing some good stuff. As far as board games are concerned, I've got one here that I was able to play last week with some neighbors, which was fun. It's called Flutter. I had actually never heard of it, but I wasn't hosting, and they brought and taught the game. And they just got it at a board game shop here locally, I think just a couple of weeks ago. It came out last year. And it's a pretty simple game where you're all building like this combined like a structure in the middle that is full of butterflies and insects and flowers. And on your turn, you put a piece out and it has to connect with you have to grow something. So you have to like line up the flower piece on the piece you're putting out with the flower piece that's on the board. And if they match in color, then you earn that many of that currency, and you use those petals as currency. So you have like 5 different currencies that you're managing: red petals, yellow petals, blue petals, purple petals, I think was one. So maybe there's 4 colors of petals. But then you have to spend those petals in order to score victory points. And the way you do that is, let's pretend I put a piece here and completely surrounded this yellow butterfly. That yellow butterfly piece has 8 dots on the outside. I would need to pay 8 yellow, because this butterfly is yellow, petals once I have put that piece in to surround it, in order to earn 8 victory points for doing so. If I'm not able to, and I still surround that butterfly, then everyone else scores 4 points. So you have to make sure you have the right currencies before you start enclosing things. And so it's a bit of like a shared puzzle. You're watching someone else put something, you're like, ooh, he put something there, and I can see the when you're taking the piece that you're going to place each turn, there is 5 stacks of pieces, and this sun will be on a stack, and then you can take a piece from the next stack for free, or you can pay some petals to take the piece from the next stack, pay some more petals to take the piece from the next stack, kind of like patchwork or something like that. So you can kind of plan out like, okay, I can see my turns in 3 turns. The sun will be here. I'll be taking this next, this triangle piece or something, and I just saw him put this there. It made a gap for me. I might be able to fill that. It's kind of a spatial puzzle. It not my favorite kind of game, but it was fun, cozy. You can make some like big turns if you get a little bit lucky with someone leaving like a gap open, and you're able to fill it, and you have the petals that you need in order to pay for it. So it's a little bit of timing and luck in that way, where if someone leaves an opening for you, it can be very beneficial. But pretty fun game. I'd give it like a 7 out of 10. It's not like amazing, not one I'd want to play every day, but if you want to like burn your brain on how to enclose butterflies and grow flowers, it's pretty fun. It was a fun time in a group of 6 of us. So I think it only plays up to 5. 2 of them played on a shared team. So that's Flutter. It was a fun time. I don't own that one, but my neighbor does, and that was fun. All right, for what we are excited for, this game has been getting quite a bit of buzz. It just came out this week. It's called Pipistrello and the Cursed Yo-Yo. Kind of has this cool like Game Boy Advance kind of Super Nintendo vibe. I think it has like an 89 on OpenCritic, and what the heck. Also reminds me of like Mina the Hollower from the Hollow Knight team that is coming out this year, and we'll talk about that more later in the episode actually. So excited for this one. I haven't bought it yet just because I have so many games on the backlog. I want to finish the 3 that I talked about today, and I have some others as well that I need to get to, but this is one I've got my eye on. Pipistrello and the Cursed Yo-Yo. It's supposed to be really great. I love pixel art so much. So anyways, that's that one. I think there might have been one other game on my list I was pumped for. Oh yeah, this next one is supposed to be like a really wholesome and like happy game. And it's called To a T, and again from Annapurna. And I think you're like a young boy whose arms are like stuck out, and so he looks like the letter T. And there's like a weird giraffe you go to school with, and yeah, I don't know. It just looks like a very quirky game, and I'm kind of into that vibe. Gonna do my arms out the rest of this episode.
Oh, you should. It'd be perfect.
So those are the 2 that I've got my eye on, but there are some others that just like came out and were just barely announced at some of these game shows this week. So who knows? For the rest of it, I'm actually going to go down to the table instead of go through all of these links. I think it'll be a little bit faster. For my birthday, my cousin gave me a gift card. And I was like, okay, perfect. I'm trying not to spend too much money on board games, but there are some that I want. And so I used that gift card for some of these. So we're going to just take a peek at them real quick. One I'm probably most excited for is called Lure. It's a dice rolling fishing game where you roll your own dice behind a shield. Or you have your dice behind a shield, and then on every turn, some fish are set out, and you have to like get a certain number of points or a value across all your dice to catch the certain fish. And some of them, like this one, require you have a die that has a 1 on it, have a die that has a 3 on it, and fish are worth victory points. But then everyone takes some dice into their hand and hides them, and then you all reveal them together, and whoever revealed the fewest number of dice gets to fish first for the fish cards that are there. So you want to commit the lowest amount that you can to get to go first, but you want to make sure that when you then commit them and are rolling them, it'll be a high enough value that you'll actually be able to catch them.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the tension there. It's supposed to be good. Also got the expansion Deep Waters, has some extra dice and fancier deeper water cards as well. Excited for that one. I got 2 mini card games that are supposed to be great. One's called Rainbow. It's supposed to be very simple, but excellent little card game. Same with Prey. Both of these from All Play in their kind of smallest box line. This one is a trick-taking game where you play 6 tricks and then you flip your cards upside down because they have a value on the other side, and you play the next 6 tricks on the other side. So you're trying to play cards effectively to like win tricks with them before they flip over, and then so you're planning with your hand basically, knowing that they're going to flip over. And then this other game, Rumble Nation, has not had an English version for years, and so it's been very hard to find, but it's finally got one this year. It was on sale for a great price. This is supposed to be an excellent game where it's area control. You're trying to get the most of your troops in these certain areas to win points. And the way you do that is you roll dice, 3 of them every turn, and then you use those dice to decide. I think you combine 2 of the dice to make a number, and I think that number is the region that you're going to be assigning them to. And then the other die is how many you get to assign to that region. So this would be like 3 troops to region 8, or 5 troops to region 6 is how you could break those up, for example. So area control with like the constraint of the dice. It's supposed to be amazing. I'm excited for that as well. So games and shrink wrap here that I still need to unbox for the YouTube channel, and excited about those. I also have a couple big ones coming. I think they'll be here tomorrow, maybe Monday. So we'll talk about them next week. But those are the board games I'm kind of excited about. Whew. Devin, that was a long segment, and unfortunately this next one is not much shorter. I mentioned it. This is a crazy week for video games. The Switch 2 just came out. We talked about that for a bit at the beginning. And then it's kind of, I'm calling it fake E3, which is a video game conference that used to go on for years where basically each different manufacturer, Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft, would have their own conference the same weekend. It was kind of like a crazy fun weekend because it was just like announcement after announcement after announcement during the summer. And though E3's kind of died and gone away, and instead of that, Nintendo does their own Nintendo Directs, and PlayStation does their own showcases and states of play, and Xbox does their own thing. And then Jeff Keighley has come out of nowhere, and he does the Game Awards and Summer Game Fest. But this week, for whatever reason, they kind of all aligned, where Sony announced State of Play, and that State of Play was on Thursday. Maybe it was Wednesday. It was Wednesday or Thursday. And then Summer Game Fest was just yesterday on Friday. I think there are 2 other indie shows that are just happening, like Day of the Devs and Future Game Show. And then IO Interactive is having their show to talk about Hitman and 007 First Light. And then Xbox has their show tomorrow, and they'll be talking about a bunch of stuff and ending with like a deep dive into the Outer Worlds 2. So there's a bajillion showcases. We're just going to talk about 2 of them today. We'll like finish up the second half next week after Xbox's showcase tomorrow and stuff. So the 2 big ones. Whew, were the PlayStation State of Play, like I mentioned, and what did I put here? I guess, but kind of in preparation for these 4 or 5 or however we want to count it, showcases. My hope and prayer is that Silksong is announced for one of them, and before any of them happened, Hollow Knight Silksong received updates to its package on Steam.
Oh.
One apparently receiving its update for the first time in 15 months. So they're updating some stuff behind the scenes. If I was them and the game was ready, I think it would be really cool to have like a stealth launch, I don't know, at Xbox's show or something tomorrow. Because I think they would capture a humongous audience here at Switch 2 launch, being like basically the only other big game besides Mario Kart. Man, I think that would be big for them.
Oh, yeah, let's get that on.
It's probably not going to happen, but hey, David can dream, and I will have my clown paint on my face next week.
Wonderful.
Before PlayStation State of Play, there was also an Unreal Engine 5 like tech demo presentation that they went over, and they showed The Witcher 4 in like early production, running on Unreal Engine 5, and this is running on a base PlayStation 5 at 60 frames per second with ray tracing, just to show like the Unreal Engine can, for fewer processing resources, make a game look even better. And it does look pretty amazing.
Oh, man.
Whether it will look this good on a base PlayStation 5 when it comes out in, however many years is another question. But man, just like seeing that horsey, and
Goodness.
it's crazy how pretty it looks.
Fantastic.
Unreal Engine 5 is pretty cool. I wonder how long it will take for games to actually look this good and to not require like a $2,000 PC to run at this kind of level. But it was a cool tech demo if you are interested in that kind of behind the scenes, like look into game development. It's pretty cool. All right. Then we've got
the State of Play.
The State of Play. Make sure we're showing what we should show here. PlayStation had their State of Play on June 4th. So what's today? Today's the 7th, so that must have been Wednesday. Lots of stuff here. Devin, if you'll go back to the document just so that I can see the highlights and not talk about them for too long. Some of these we're just going to go through real quick. I don't want to be here forever, but there were some cool stuff. This was one of their better states of play, in my opinion. They started with a new game called Lumines Arise. Lumines is a puzzle. It's kind of like a Tetris-y style game where you have to put like these blocks in certain shapes before the music like wipes back to the right and like cements in your score. And once they're cemented in, it will like remove pieces that were made into complete squares. It's kind of Tetris-y mixed with music. And it's being made by the same team that did Tetris Effect, which was a very, very popular version of Tetris that came out a couple of years ago that mixed lots of like music and like psychedelic like looking visual style. So I imagine they'll do a great job here. For PlayStation 5 and PlayStation VR 2, again, looks very like, I don't even know, psychedelic I think is the right word. But I thought that was a cool thing to start with. Then they went to a game that was announced in, I think, the showcase in 2020 when the PlayStation 5 was announced. So it's been a known quantity for a long time, called Pragmata. It's being made by Capcom, and I don't think they've shown it since 2022 or 2023. And so everyone was like, they must have canceled this game. Like, it's like gone. But they finally showed it again, and it's coming out next year in 2026. They had a trailer showing like the main character with this like young girl that like rides on her backpack. It looks bonkers, but I like a good sci-fi story, and hopefully it's fun. So we'll see. 2026, that was kind of a big one. The next one's also a big one. There's this very quirky game developer called Suda51. I think the name of the company he started is called Grasshopper. You can tell from those two names already that he's very quirky. And I think some of the games that he's made are No More Heroes. He might have done like the Lollipop Chainsaw game. Anyways, this is his next game, and his team's next game called Romeo is a Dead Man. It started with this funky looking artwork, looked like it was kind of like Rugrats. But then when it finally jumps into gameplay, it's like a kind of like an ultra violent, I don't know, like I don't even know what you call it. It looks like God of War style game, but then there are guns and there's sci-fi blood everywhere. It looks very, very unique, I guess. So that was the 1, 2, 3 punch they kind of started with. And then I guess they went right into Silent Hill F, another trailer for that, which comes out. Do we have a date here? Yeah, September 25th. So pre-orders are open. Looks pretty creepy. This is Devin's vibe.
Oh, so cool.
Yeah. Hopefully it is good. I know Silent Hill 2 remake people really liked last year. So I hope this one, not being a remake, it's like its own new thing, can also be great and maybe even be a little better. Would be nice, because I know that you thought Silent Hill 2 was like good, maybe even to like great, but not like extraordinary.
Yeah, kind of unmemorable for me.
Yeah.
I fought a picture frame in that game.
Right. And then you like almost forgot about it. Yeah. Fought picture frame. Next up, a sequel to Bloodstained, which is a cool Metroidvania game. I think from Iga is like his nickname. I think he's the original creator of Castlevania. So he's kind of like a big deal in Metroidvanias. And this is a sequel to the first Bloodstained. This one's called The Scarlet Engagement. Looks like it's bigger like cutscenes than the first game, because there were some kind of more in-depth cutscenes with the main characters. Comes out next year. Then Digimon Storytime Stranger, Devin's favorite game, I'm sure, was next up. Then a remake of remaster, I guess, of Final Fantasy Tactics, the Ivalice Chronicles. I'm not huge into turn-based games, and so I'm also not very big into tactical RPGs, is what they're called, when you also have to move your characters on a grid. And you like say, okay, I can attack, but I can attack within 4 squares, and so I want him to attack him, and then I want him to move over here so he's out of range. The Final Fantasy Tactics is supposed to be amazing, but I think I just missed that vibe. Maybe one day when it's free on PlayStation Plus, I'll play it. I don't think that's a David game. They did a barrage of release dates next. First up was for Baby Steps, which I know a lot of people are pumped for. Same team that did that like mountain climbing game where the dude's in the bucket with the hammer. And the release date for that one is September 8th. It's a very weird looking game where it looks like you have to like move his feet individually, and he's always falling. Probably be very funny.
Oh, agreed. Especially in co-op.
And what is he wearing? It's like a hoodie, but it's like a onesie pajama.
Sweaty onesie.
And he's like, I don't know what's going on. But yeah, that one. There was one called Hirogimi. It's kind of like Hirogami. It's like origami. On September 3rd. Looked like a kind of fun indie game. Hot Shots Golf, the new one, got a release date, which is cool. I love that series, on September 5th. I hope that's excellent. What else is next here? Ninja Gaiden Ragebound also looks very, very good. And that one is July 31st, pretty close. Then there's the climbing game called Cairn. It's like a mountain climbing game where you have to like manage your stamina, and it looks like move like the different like arms and legs of the person climbing. It has a demo available today, or I guess as of a couple days ago. And then the Mortal Kombat collection, which it looks like is going to have the first, they listed all the games here, but I think like the first 3 and a couple side games were listed in there. Cool idea. I like the old style Mortal Kombat. It's a lot more than the new ones. And that comes out later this year. Then they announced a new fight stick. And this will be probably more important for the like closer announcement they had, but probably works here right after Mortal Kombat as well. This thing's going to be pricey, I would imagine. But it looks cool.
It does, yeah. It's awesome.
They have announced there's no price yet, but that they would have more details later. It doesn't come out till next year. New trailer for Snake Eater Delta comes out on August 28th. Neo 3 was announced. This was kind of a big one. Let me see if I can get there. It's early 2026. Also a demo today. I don't think that Neo 3 was announced before this. So kind of an announcement and the demo out today. It's pretty cool. Have you played those, Devin? I know you're huge into Souls games.
I think I played Neo 2 for a few hours, but other than that, no.
They are hard.
It was very hard.
I feel like there's more like systems, and maybe it's like more going on artistically, where I feel like I have even less of an idea. Like, when is this enemy gonna attack, and like how do I dodge it, and what systems do I need to be using and stuff. But I haven't played more than a few hours of the first Neo, and you can also be like Ultra Ninja mode in it, which is cool. So they have like, what's that called? A Shinobi and a Samurai? Are those the two? I don't know, something like that. Then Thief VR game, and let's see, Astrobot, the head of that studio, popped back on the screen for a little bit. Where is it?
And Tides of Tomorrow, right before Astrobot, is also there.
Oh, before, yeah, you're right. Tides of Tomorrow. This is a game I'm struggling to understand exactly how it works, because it comes out in February 24th. It's like it's a multiplayer game, but then the decisions that other people make, like, I'm gonna run through here, or I'm gonna pickpocket this person, like, stay, and then you get to like interact with them as well. I really like the art style, like the colors and stuff.
Yeah, this
Really
was the
cool.
game they showed where, yeah, see that? The usernames. You would see
Yeah.
something that a previous username did in this area, and it
Yeah.
impacts your playthrough or something.
Yeah, which sounds cool, and like the trailer looks cool, but I wonder how that feels to actually play. If I'm like seeing somebody else run through here and get to the secret tunnel, I'm like, okay, I watched you do that.
Every chest you open in the game is empty.
Yeah,
Someone
else chose it,
They
open
got
it first. So I don't know. I'm interested to see how that comes together, but it seems weird. Then I think is the Astrobot stuff. They have 5 more bonus levels that are coming out for free. They said this month, but then on the PlayStation blog, I think it's like early July, so within a month. What was next? A game called Sea Remnants Sea of Remnants, I guess, is the next one. And I'm trying to remember exactly what this one was. Let's scrub through here for a minute. It's kind of puppet looking dude. Okay, yeah, I do remember watching this one and thinking, oh, it looks like Sea of Thieves, but like more puppet version.
Looks like Arcane, kind of.
Yeah, kind of arcane art style. I don't know what kind of game it is exactly. You've got is this like an MMO or like a multiplayer game? Then it looks like a turn-based game like Expedition 33 there.
It did.
But it also looked like he was free roaming and attacked a guy from behind, just
with stealth
combat.
and stuff. Yeah, exactly. So I'm confused at what kind of game it is.
What doesn't this game do?
Yeah. Sea Remnants coming next year. Wish list now.
Know nothing about it.
New trailer for Sword of the Sea. And I think it got a release date. It did, for August 19th. This is the next game from Giant Squid. And they made I think Journey and Abzu. They make very pretty indie games. I really like Journey. This one looks a lot like Journey, in my opinion, but hopefully it's good. I like the kind of surfing, snowboarding like mechanism. So hopefully that one is good as well. It will be launching into the PlayStation Plus Extra game catalog, so it'll be included for free, which will be nice. And then they did some more updates to the catalog. We talked about FBC Firebreak earlier in the show. That will be there on the 17th, which we already knew. Same with Deus Ex. Let me see if I can get to that update. Yeah, Deus Ex: The Conspiracy on Classics catalog. I don't know which console that's from. I guess it would be PlayStation 2. And then Twisted Metal 3 and 4. Love those games. Especially 3. I don't think I played a ton of 4, to be honest. On July 15th. And then Resident Evil 2 and 3. The old ones. this summer sometime. I'm excited for those because I just played the remakes pretty recently, and so I'm excited to play the actual old ones.
Oh, I can't decide if I have.
Yeah, sometimes it's a little rough going back, but all right. Then they ended with 3 big things here. The first trailer for 007 First Light, which I thought looked really cool from
Agreed,
this
yeah.
trailer.
Very
Some
beautiful.
big actors in here. I forget what that actor's name is, but definitely seen him quite a few times. Oh, he's from The Walking Dead. He's the guy in the first episode with
Donovan Mitchell.
Mitchell from the Cleveland Cavaliers. Yeah, he's the one from the first episode, I'm pretty sure. I like the vibe of like super young 007. Hopefully it plays really well. It looks like a more like linear story game than like freeform Hitman. You know, where Hitman is like, here's your target, do whatever you want. So hopefully it's good. I don't think IO Interactive has made a game other than Hitman in a long, long time. So that'll be kind of cool. It's got a bit of buzz, comes out next year. And then this was a weird one to me. I don't know why you even show it, but they showed a very brief trailer for Ghost of Yotei. And I'm a little confused about what this trailer like what's the word? Like implies, because she is looking out over this place that it looks like she's gonna have to go I don't know, pillage, do some fighting, and she looks over and says, "Are you coming with me?" And it's a wolf, like just a wolf. I'm like, can you talk to this wolf? Can you control the wolf? Is it a werewolf? What kind of wolf is this guy?
Is it co-op and your friend's the wolf?
Yeah, is this a co-op wolfy game? Right, here's the wolf. I'm like, I like wolves, but I don't understand what that means. And then, so it's a very short trailer. Show the wolf's teeth here. He looks kind of creepy. And then they say a gameplay deep dive coming next month in July. So they're going to have like a state of play specific to that game since it comes out this year. So hopefully we'll find out what's up with Wolfman.
Yeah, awesome.
And then they closed with a game that I think looks really cool, but I don't think will be for me. They spent a lot of time, like 11 solid minutes on this game. It's a Marvel game that Sony is publishing, and it is a 4v4 fighting game being made by Arc System Works, who makes really good fighting games, and I think is especially known for like their very pretty artwork. And you can definitely see that. Like, it looks awesome. I just don't think I'll play it.
The character design's cool too. Like,
yeah,
each of the characters looks like themselves, but kind of not.
Yep.
Like, it's a very comic book version of like Captain America and Star-Lord even.
Yeah. I like the version of Iron Man too. If we can like get them to stop moving for a sec. He has like this cool like V like on his eyebrows that kind of makes him look like a Gundam.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yes.
And so yeah, the art style is very cool. I wonder. It seems like you choose like 4 characters, or there might be like a random shuffling, and you like have to decide. I'm not sure. And then you're fighting with your 4 people against someone else with their 4, and you can like swap in at certain times and stuff. And I was reading a little bit about it, and you like designate one of them as the leader, and you can decide like if you just want to focus on the leader and just pull in like the side attacks from the other 3 so that you don't have to learn like the other 3's full moveset. Or you can like fully swap them in if you're comfortable with other characters. Sounds cool. I just I'm not familiar with a lot of other games that do this. Like, I know there was Tekken Tag Team or something. Was one of the first ones I remember where you could tag like other characters in. But I don't think like the big fighting games right now, which are like, what are the big ones? I don't even really know. Street Fighter and Tekken.
Probably, yeah.
I don't think that they focus on like the tag team aspect. So I wonder if that'll be popular or not. It's called Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls, and it's coming to PS5 and PC next year. Again, I think it looks really cool. I just don't know that I will play it because I'm not a huge fighting game fan. I do want to see if I can find the artwork for Iron Man though, because I feel like they specifically mentioned him and he looks pretty cool. There's Spidey's head. Captain America. Let me see if I can find it. I think it was this guy talking. Yeah, there's Iron Man. I like that cool V. Like the lightning V over his eyes. So, I don't know. I'm sure that'll be a popular game, but again,
I think it will as well.
don't know if it's for me. Devin, when you send me this next link, do not look at the screen for a few seconds.
Oh, I got you. Yeah. There's this is the show I didn't watch.
Yeah, Devin watched the State of Play. We're gonna move into then the Summer Game Fest event. You can click on that.
I'll just go up here and
Trying to save a surprise that I know Devin didn't see. Then don't look at my screen either.
Okay.
So maybe just close your eyes.
I'll just jump out the window.
Yeah, that would be best. I'll tell you when you can look again, and it's not yet. I need to close a couple things. All right, we're at Summer Game Fest now. This one just happened yesterday. Oh, man, every time I move the mouse, that's gonna come up. How do I get the title to go away? Can I do that? Settings, subtitles, annotations. Nope. Dang. Well, it might just be spoiled for you. Well, let's see. Maybe I could click through it with the. If I don't use the mouse.
Yeah, just using the
and
keyboard.
use the keyboard.
Yeah. So we're good.
The title's still up there. Oh nope, the keyboard brings the title back up as well. Dang it.
The title gives it away?
Yeah, they added the title of the Stinger game to the title of the Summer Game Fest video.
Oh boy. Should we just get the big one out of the way then? This is the reveal, or like?
Yeah, probably. Let me see if I can find the.
Or does that make the rest of the show less exciting?
The way they built to it was weird, but like kind of cool, I guess. At some point here in the middle, let me see if I can find it. They had just like a 20-second little segment where they talk about it's Resident Evil's 30th anniversary. So a bunch of our games are on sale. And then they said, and we've got a quick note from the director of Resident Evil. And he comes on the screen and he says, thanks so much for supporting us for 30 years of Resident Evil. Just so you know, we're working hard on the next Resident Evil game.
Number 9.
We'll share, number 9. We'll share more details when we're ready. It, hopefully won't feel like more than a blink of an eye to you. And we're like, okay, cool. And then later in the show, they had the actress that played Lady Dimitrescu,
whatever her name is.
She was on for a second and like, again, just had like kind of like a little thing where she talked about the anniversary and the sale and the game and stuff. Play Resident Evil Village. And so then they get through the rest of the show and get to the point where, and Jeff says, and we have one more thing, and I've kind of spoiled the whole thing here now, but and their one more thing was trying to find it because this video has I guess the Day of the Devs section at the end as well. Oh, here it is. And they end with this trailer.
I still haven't looked. Can I look now?
You can look now. For a game that...
Oh, cool. This is my type of game.
Yeah, it is for sure. You see a dude walk in here to what seems to be the FBI lady. Looks like she's working a case. He says he needs her to come talk to him in his office, and he needs her to go back to, I think, a hospital where her mom died 10 years ago. I'll let you watch the full trailer later.
Ooh, who is it? It's not Ashley Winters, isn't it?
I don't think so. Let me see if I can pull the captions up and see what name he said.
He said Riggs.
Riggs. Do you know that name?
I don't. No.
So I wonder if it's a new character.
Is this 9?
Yes.
Okay, so they teased it and then they're actually showing 9.
They teased it and then they ended with it. So it really was only a blink of an eye, I guess. Let me see if I can.
Did we play Ashley Winters? I guess in the DLC of
the 7, or was it the DLC of Village?
I think it was the DLC of Village. I think.
It says, I know that's where your mother was murdered, but I need you to go back.
Oh, she's pretty. I like her.
Some weird flashbacks. Perhaps it's time to face the past.
Oh man.
Her name's Grace.
Grace Riggs.
I guess.
Grace Riggs.
And anyways, then it cuts a little bit more with some creepy stuff. Shows the word Requiem, cuts the QUI E and M out so that only R and E are left. I think it does flash the letter, like the Roman numeral 9 on the screen. So this is Resident Evil 9. And there's a calculator for some reason. So anyways, that was the and this is about the point where everyone's like, wait, Raccoon City? And then this is the police station. Like,
yeah.
So it looks like it's much later. And this is it.
Amazing. How long did they show this game? I'll have to watch.
They once this trailer ends, it's it. But yeah, RE9, Requiem, and they announce a release date.
Really? That's shocking.
It's not as probably as soon as you want, but February 27th. It's not as far away as I thought it could be.
No, that's not bad at all. I didn't expect to get one in less than a year.
Yeah. So that was the stinger that they tried to trick us into not thinking would be there in the show. And since it was in the name, I thought I better go over that first because I was hoping to keep that a secret from you, which would have been fun, but
I don't know what a requiem is. I don't feel like I love the word, but
Requiem. It's like it makes me think of the famous movie Requiem for a Dream. Very creepy movie about drugs. Don't watch it unless you're an adult, but it has Jennifer Connelly and the dude from 30 Seconds to Mars in it. Anyways, I think Requiem is like it's like you're getting what's coming to you kind of thing. Like your Requiem.
Oh, sure.
I don't know. Anyways, Summer Game Fest. That's what they end with, but there was a lot more stuff. So
I would assume so when I'm looking at the show being 3.5 hours long.
Yeah, I think his portion here was only 2 hours, and then the other hour and a half is the Day of the Devs indie stream, which we will cover next week. So we're not going to go over that portion. And I'm not going to go over every single game here, but some of them did look cool. The first one is a Souls-like game, and I thought, man, this trailer looks very cool. It's Mortal Shell 2, which comes out next year in 2026.
Oh, I like this.
And I actually own the first one, and I think it did review pretty well. I think the idea is you have like a way to like harden your body into like a shell, and like when you choose to do that is like important in the gameplay. So I don't know. I thought this trailer looked pretty cool, and maybe might make me want to play the first one. Definitely looks a little more creepy than like another Crab's Treasure that I've been playing. But that's Mortal Shell 2. A bit violent there, but hey, it is what it is. They did a little segment on the Death Star Sabotage Fortnite event, which I know Devin's super pumped for. They brought on Hideo Kojima to talk about Death Stranding 2 since it comes out in a couple of weeks, and they showed a new trailer for that about a couple of characters that both seem to have the same kind of brand on their wrist. I'm intrigued by this game because I bet the story is like very quirky and weird and like halfway awesome. But Death Stranding is like such a long game. I don't know if I have the time to catch up before this one comes out. But we'll see. That's Death Stranding 2. Talked to Kojima about it for a little bit as well. Then next up was a new game from a team in Denmark, baby. And the game is narrated by one of my favorite actors, Mr. Tom Hardy.
Oh, wow.
It's called Chronicles Medieval. It's coming to early access in 2026. And it looks like you can kind of choose like to rule and lead your people into war or whatever else you want to in different ways. It was kind of the vibe that I got from it. And just hearing Tom Hardy's voice over the whole thing, I was like enraptured, you know? Like that guy.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So Chronicles Medieval there. Then was a new trailer for Sonic Cross Worlds, which we've already seen before, but they announced 4 crossover racers are coming to the game. The first 2 are not like really important for me. The first one's Hatsune Miku, and then Ichiban Kasuga, who I think is one of the main characters from the Yakuza series. Yeah, there he is. Then the next one is Joker from Persona 5. Very, very famous character. Pretty cool that he's in there. And then I thought they were done, but then they announced like a collaboration with Minecraft. And so Steve is a racer in here, and they have some Minecraft tracks. If I am remembering correctly, I'm pretty sure they show him racing in Minecraft here in a second. There it is. Kind of a fun little Minecraft level. So some cool little things they're doing there. Next up, they revealed Code Vein 2. I thought this trailer looked really cool, and I was like, I swear I've seen this vibe of game before. Maybe want to play the original Code Vein, which I had heard pretty good things about. It's a little anime adjacent.
I've played it.
Oh, you have?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I don't think I beat it, but
But you played it? Oh, okay.
Played it.
Did you enjoy like the gameplay, or was it?
I think so, but I think it was super weird. Like,
yeah,
big boss arena, a lot of numbers popping up on the screen potentially.
that's probably right.
Things are spinning. Yeah, I think I played it. I dabbled a little bit.
Okay. Again, very unique kind of vibe going on there, but looked kind of cool. The next one I think looks really awesome. It's called End of Abyss, and it kind of looks like, I wrote down Resident Evil mixed with Inside. I'd maybe even mix like Little Nightmares in there. It's like isometric camera angles, but you're also like, you know, carrying a gun and trying to escape like creepy things. Let me see if I can get to a better segment here to show you. Yeah, kind of like that.
Crazy. This looks awesome.
Looks very cool. Looks like you also have a scanner of some type. And then there's
Was that hinting at co-op?
I'm not sure if it was or if that was just an NPC
Yeah.
there with you. But
Yeah.
I'm very pumped for that one. Looks super
Yeah.
cool. And again, kind of gives me like weird mutated creature inside vibes, especially with that thing. So that one looks cool. I think that one was next year, if I remember it correctly. Yeah, 2026. Then they showed Mouse PI for Hire, which again we've seen quite a few times. It's like the black and white looking Mickey Mouse like style game that kind of looks like Cuphead.
First person shooter?
Yeah.
Funny.
And they announced that Troy Baker, who is in every video game ever, is doing the voice for the Mouse PI, I guess. It does look cool. I like the art style a lot. Kind of gives me Who Framed Roger Rabbit vibes as well.
They should allow you to play this in color once you've gone through the campaign once. That would be
interesting.
Sick.
That'd be a cool like Easter egg at the end. Like, hey, we designed this for black and white. Here's what it looks like in color if you want to play it in color.
Mm-hmm.
I would try that. Okay, next up was a Game of Thrones game. And I think he announced this from the same team that did Kill Knight. And I really like that little like indie game. And it's very unique. It looks like you can take Game of Thrones in like different directions. Like here, I haven't watched the show, but Jon Snow, I think is this dude. He gets killed by the White Walker and turned into a Walker dude. And then like they kill the dragon that I don't think happens in the game. So I think they're just trying to show that like the game like can take a different arc than the show did. But they don't show any gameplay or anything. But Game of Thrones fans are probably pumped for that. Then they showed a game with a cool vibe. Like very robotic. Came out a couple of years ago called Atomic Heart. And this is Atomic Heart 2. I mean, it kind of gives you like sci-fi Bioshock vibes, but I don't think the first one reviewed like super well. Also looks fairly mature. Try to make all the robots, looking hot for some reason. I'm like, all right. It's running
Pre-orders.
yeah, in Unreal Engine 5, and it looks really pretty. And like, again, I like the vibe. Like the vibe is really cool. But yeah, that one's coming out next. Did I say next year? Oh, it doesn't say, or at least I didn't write down. Atomic Heart 2, and then the same team is coming out with a MMORPG shooter called The Cube, and it takes place on an aptly named cube in the sky that has like rotating different biomes on it, so that while you're playing, I guess, these different matches, MMORPG shooter reminds me of something like Destiny or something, but I don't know. They basically just focused on like the idea of this cube and the shifting landscapes. Cool idea, and like graphically, it looks pretty. Whether the game will be fun to play, I don't know. But that's The Cube, the other game that the same team, Mundfish, I think, is working on along with Atomic Heart 2. Whew. All right, lots still to come. So I'm going to go through some of this kind of fast. They showed Marvel Cosmic Invasion again, which looks amazing. Again, I love pixel art. Game looks so good. And the two new characters they showed are Rocket and She-Hulk. And big fan of how Rocket's attacks look in the game. Oh, I went a little too far, but he's like got guns like flying everywhere, and yeah, just looks awesome. So I'm pumped for that one. I thought the Ninja Turtles game that team did was amazing. New trailer for Onimusha, Way of the Sword, that comes out next year. I think we'll just kind of skip most of that since that's a known entity. This next one is weird. Jeff comes out and said, I'm a fan of puppets, because he's had like the Muppets on his show before. And he said, and this next one is like intrigued me for a while when I first saw it, and it kind of reminds me of like comical Rocky mixed with the Muppets, and it kind of looks like Punch Out at the same time. It's called Felt That Boxing, and you see this like dude that's clearly supposed to look like a Fozzie Bear. They keep calling him Fuzzy, I think, and he's trying to like become a boxer. And I think this one was also like made in Unreal Engine 5. Looks very weird. And he's like with his trainer, and his trainer like knocks him out really easy. He like can't punch. He's like, looks so weird. But then he like kind of gets into it for a second. I want to show you this section here at the end where he fights, because it kind of looks like Punch Out vibes, where like there's a health bar, but you're fighting as a weird looking Muppet. It looks so weird. Felt That Boxing. I love Punch Out though, so if that's anything like Punch Out gameplay, I'll probably play it. It looks very weird. Wow. Next is a game called Killer in Deception We Trust. This is a common theme in board games, is social deduction, where you're trying to figure out who's the traitor. We talked about that a little bit earlier in the show. This is a video game version of that, where some people are designated before the game starts as sheep and some as wolves. The sheep are trying to figure out who are all the wolves that are trying to kill everybody, and the wolves are trying to not get caught and kill everybody. But you're doing it in a video game with weapons and like secrets. So kind of Among Us style, but a bit more I don't like real people kind of vibes instead of weird little Among Us aliens. So whether that will be a hit or not sure. It's 24 players, kind of a big squad, and it's being made by Square Enix, or published by Square Enix, I guess. So it seems like they believe in it, and they're a pretty big company. So maybe it'll be cool. Have you played Among Us?
Like once.
I haven't played it, and I'm generally not a fan of that style of board game because I think it just kind of favors the loudest person in the room as opposed to
For
like,
sure.
you know, and so I wonder how they'll differentiate that with a gameplay. But that's Killer End. Cool idea. A game that we've known about for a while that I think was delayed a few times called Arc Raiders is finally coming out on October 30th. If you want to see the new trailer, look that up. Dune Awakening got a new trailer because I think it launches on PC next week and the console version is supposed to be later this year. Again, whether that can be cool, I'm not sure, but I love Dune, so who knows. Metroidvania game that we've known about for a while called Mio. I think it stands for like memories in something. Got a release date as well. Let's see if I can find it. Is it here? Nope, I'm too far now. That one, or not a release date, but a demo out now. Does look very cool. And then, oh, sorry, that's after a Souls-like called Chrono Odyssey that I thought looked pretty cool too. And it has a Steam playtest, I think on June, was it 20th? So look for that if you want to try. It's kind of weird looking Souls-like kind of fighting game, I guess. Then there was some gotcha stuff, which I'm going to skip because don't care about Wuthering Waves so much.
Nor do I, sadly.
This one is Mio, the Memories in Orbit or something. It's a cool looking Metroidvania game, and I think it's 2D, and it's very much a David style game. So it looks more platforming based as opposed to combat. Oh, there's some combat right there. So I don't know. Looks cool. That one has a demo out now, like I mentioned. Next is a game called Out of Words, which is a stop motion cooperative game, which I did think looked really cool as well. Let's see if I can. There were a few games that were announced as co-op that made me think, man, everybody wants that. It Takes Two money.
Oh, for sure.
And this one looks a lot like that as well, but with this cool like stop motion vibe. So looks pretty cool. That one's out next year. A new trailer for Mafia: The Old Country. Then a new game called Lego Voyagers was announced, and I think this one looks cool. It Takes Two money. You both play as a Lego brick, and are trying to solve puzzles and progress together. Sometimes you have to build stuff, and you have to like launch the other player. You play as a red brick and a blue brick, and let's see if we can show some gameplay here. But yeah, you're bricking around, jumping, building weird things. Here in a second, I think one of them builds like a catapult, to launch the one like far enough over the gap. There's something fun about just seeing like weird Lego pieces laying there.
Yeah, this probably is fun.
Yeah. So that's Lego Voyagers. Next is Nickelodeon Nicktoons and the Dice of Destiny. And looked a little interesting. You've got like SpongeBob popped out of nowhere. And I think some other Nickelodeon characters that I'm not super familiar with were in there as well. I think like the Powerpuff Girls and stuff. So I don't know. I feel like Nickelodeon's games have been a bit hit or miss. And just based on the gameplay I was seeing right there, it looked a little bit more miss to me.
Can you name a hit Nickelodeon game?
Okay, maybe they've been miss and miss. But, thanks for calling me out because I think you're right. All right, next one's a big one, Devin. The expansion to Lies of P has been announced for a while, but we didn't know when it was going to be coming out. They said this summer, so they showed a new trailer for it, and stealth launched it. Available now.
It'd be cool if it was also available on Game Pass.
That would be cool. But I think they want to make some money this time.
That is a hard thing with Game Pass. Just really quickly, you'll release a game for free on there, and then a DLC comes out for it, and it's like, oh, I can't buy the DLC because I don't own the game.
It is weird. I wonder if you signed up for a month of Game Pass again, and you could buy the DLC, and that would be like $45 instead of, the 60
Yeah,
would be with the
maybe.
game on sale. But I'm like, is that worth it? Then if I just buy the game, I don't know. But DLC looks cool. I would love to finish this game at some point. I haven't gotten back around to it because I was playing it on Game Pass too. Then my subscription ran out, so I want to get it on PlayStation, which is where I would prefer to play it. Some crazy looking bosses here. You got Crocodile Dude.
Yeah.
You had like a Squid Dude a minute ago. I don't know what he is. That's a weird looking Geppetto guy.
He had a trident. Maybe it was
I basically say
Poseidon.
everyone's Geppetto. But Overture is available today. There was a big cheer when this came up.
An overcheer.
An overcheer. Exactly. Nice one.
Yeah.
All right. Then there was a creepy gardening game. I think they said a mixture of Silent Hill and I forgot what the other game was that they were going for. But basically, this person is alone in this house on a hill. Let's prepare dinner, do some gardening, but then, and it was Silent Hill and Doki Doki Literature Club were like the two games that they said this game is like a mixing of. So I don't know. I like the vibe, but we'll see. Again, I'm pretty picky with gameplay, so we'll see if Fractured Blooms is any good. Then there was some more what I wrote down here, gotcha crap. For
At least you're honest. Huh?
I mean, sometimes I don't know if it's like a free to play gotcha game or not, but like I see this and I'm like, I don't know what else it is.
It's a great point. Yep. Probability.
Anyways, that game was called Blade and Soul Neo and the Seven Deadly Sins Origin were the two there. Then they announced Jurassic World Evolution 3, which is where you build like your own dinosaur park and have to worry about safety and like run the park. This one seemed to focus a lot on baby dinosaurs, so I'm guessing in the first couple you couldn't have babies, but that's kind of a cool new feature. I really like games like Roller Coaster Tycoon and that kind of thing, but they're such a time sink.
Yeah.
That I don't really play them anymore, but I remember liking them as like a young kid. I have one on my computer called a Parkosaurus or something. I can't remember. It's a fun idea. I just feel like it's sometimes a little slow and I don't know, a lot to manage. And then I'm like, okay, I saw my digital numbers of how many billions of dollars my park is worth go up, but do I care? I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways, next one is a big one for David. This is the new game from the team that made Shovel Knight called Mina the Hollower. It was kickstarted a few years ago and it's been delayed a couple of times. And they finally announced a release date for the game and that there is a demo out right now. So you can play this on Steam, at least the demo. It comes out on Halloween, October 31st. And man, this game looks awesome. What they tried to do with Shovel Knight was take an NES game and like make it as awesome as they could. With this game, they've tried to take a Game Boy, or specifically I think Game Boy Color game, and make it as awesome as they could. And it's like this kind of more gothic vibe. You're like a mouse and there's like demons and stuff, but you go to shops and at times there's these really cool like pixel art weapons on like the like shop board that you can like upgrade and stuff. And this is a David game. I backed
it looks kind of cool.
Backed it on Kickstarter when it came out, when it was on there a long time ago. So I will get a copy for free.
Whoa.
Well, for pre-money.
It's past money.
I invested, you know. Yeah. So Halloween for that one. That's a big deal. There was a VR Deadpool game coming only to MetaQuest 3. It was kind of looked funny. They made a joke about Insomniac and PlayStation and looked violent and silly, which I'm sure it is, being a Deadpool game. So let's see. After Deadpool, a release date for Dying Light the Beast was announced. This looks like a creepier Dying Light where I think they were saying like it takes place around like some hospital or something where human like experiments were going on. So there's some creepy looking zombie things for sure. The release date is August
22nd.
22nd. Next up is Mixtape, which we've seen before. It's like a coming of age story about these but it's from Annapurna, and I generally love their stuff, so I'll give them the benefit of the doubt until shown otherwise. And I think you're like trying to have the best last night ever after graduating before moving out of town or something, and you like skateboard and go on these drives. And one of the scenes here, they like destroy the Blockbuster Video. They toilet paper a house. I thought that scene looked kind of funny because I think it actually shows like what looks like gameplay in some way of you're like throwing the toilet paper.
Oh yeah, cool.
So I don't love some of these games. Like the big one was what was the big one?
I know what it is, but I don't know the name.
I don't remember the name, and I didn't love that one. It was like annoying teenagers. But this looks like more Stranger Things than annoying teenagers to me. So I don't know, it might be fun. That's Mixtape. It comes out this year. I wrote down toilet papering a house, LOL. So take that for what you will. Next up is a Hades kind of like game called Toa and the Guardians of the Sacred Tree. When I first saw this, I was like, oh no, more gotcha crap. But this one isn't. It's actually, I think, published by Bandai Namco, and I think it's a real game. No, not to hate on the gotcha stuff. I know some people like that. But yeah, it looks like a Hades kind of vibe with a kind of anime looking characters. That's why I thought that initially. The more Hades likes we get, the better, in my opinion, because I think that is a very cool genre.
Hades killed it, yeah.
I don't know if this one is a roguelike or if it just has the isometric camera angle. But anyways, that's that one. Next up is a game called Acts of Blood. And I wrote down a more violent Sifu that comes out next year. And that's basically what it looks like. You're doing a bunch of fighting with your fists and knuckles. Smacking stuff. Well, when I say stuff, I mean other people. Lots of punching, bit of smacking, bit of kicking, stomping even. So there's that one. Next up, the next game from Tribute Games was announced. They make really awesome like retro games. Mercenary Kings. They did a Scott Pilgrim game a long time ago, and that's what they're making is a new Scott Pilgrim game from, I think the writer of Scott Pilgrim is like on board and like wrote it. It's called Scott Pilgrim EX, and man, it looks very cool. I love their art style here on their cutscenes, and then on their gameplay as well. Pixel art, man, for life. So good. So Scott,
the legible pixel art.
Yeah, some of it can be a little too vague sometimes, but
Yeah.
this one looks pretty clean, and it's pretty easy to tell like where things are. So Scott Pilgrim EX. Then next, here we go. This is where I wrote down Resident Evil 30th anniversary and ad. So yeah, this is where the actress from Resident Evil walked in, talked about some games being on sale, drank out of a bloody
Oh my gosh, it's so
wine
eerie.
cup, yeah. And then they had the First Descendant update trailer. Don't care about that. And then a trailer for a new game called Scum, which I couldn't really tell. It looked kind of like DayZ or like kind of vibes. I think it's like crafting survival kind of game, but it also looks like madness here. And I don't exactly know what's going on. There's some weird dancing going on, but Scum version 1.0 is launching on June 17th. New trailer for Mind's Eye, which comes out next week. It's been talked about a bunch. I thought this trailer actually looked pretty good. I think like a person that was pretty instrumental in making Grand Theft Auto started their own team and made this game. Anyways. Then the IO team came in and talked about 007, and they brought on Mads Mikkelsen on the stage, an actor I really like from Hannibal, and he obviously was La Chiffre, I don't know how to pronounce it, in a Casino Royale, and he's been in Star Wars and other things.
He's in Doctor Strange. Did you say that?
Is he in Doctor Strange? I haven't seen the
That guy?
newest Doctor Strange. Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, he's in the first one.
Okay. He's going to be an elusive target in Hitman for the next month. So you can, with some unique poker mechanisms added in there. If you haven't seen the TV series Hannibal that he stars in, excellent TV series. But yeah, he came on stage. It was kind of a fun moment. Then another Lego game called Lego Party, and it does not definitely look like they aped Mario Party in every single way. You instead of getting stars, you're getting golden Lego bricks, and then there are 60 mini games that you compete in over this game-looking board.
Shocking.
But these mini games do look pretty fun, to be honest. There is something just about like something made out of Legos that looks endearing to me. Like you could make the ugliest thing, but it's made of Legos. I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Those games were reminding me of Fusion Frenzy.
Yeah, Fusion Frenzy vibes too. I loved that game as well. Hopefully it's good. I want Lego stuff to succeed, even though I think they are one of a Danish company, kind of near and dear to my heart. I like Lego. I don't know how they get away with like the price gouging and how expensive their Legos are. But, Disney does the same thing with their movies.
Premium plastic.
It is, I guess. But it comes out this year. So that's that one. New trailer for Wildgate, which is like this multiplayer shooter where you're protecting like your own ship and then you're infiltrating other people's ships in order to like find this special MacGuffin in space. Hopefully it's a fun multiplayer kind of game. I like the idea of like infiltrating other player like crews ships and like them being on fire and stuff because you did that. But whether it's good or not, I don't know. Oh, next up is another big reveal for me. Drinkbox Games. I love their games. They did Guacamelee and the world, but Nobody Saves the World, and a game for the Vita, and another game for the Vita called like I can't remember, something about a blob. Their next game is called Blighted, and it's an isometric game with co-op, is what I wrote here, and has their kind of well-known like art style that I really vibe with. So again, don't know if this one's a roguelike. They do show co-op here in a minute with like 2 players playing. So hopefully it's great. Again, more Hades likes is a good thing for David. So Blighted. Love Drinkbox. Next one is called Ill. I wrote down Resident Evil, but grosser human monsters. And there's like naked monsters and stuff, so I'll probably skip most of this, but just to give you like an idea, like there's some gross monsters.
Oh wow, yeah, it looks very horror.
Yeah, like more emphasis on grotesque, like human body horror.
Interesting.
That one was just kind of an announcement. I don't think a date was given. Mecha Break got a release date for July 1st. Does look like a cool kind of like mech fighting game. Infinitesimals is coming out next year. I can talk. And you fight as like these little insects. Kind of looks like Destiny if I was a bug.
Weird.
And you
so strange.
I think it's also made on Unreal Engine 5 because they had like part of it in a little Unreal Engine like reel. I don't know, looks kind of cool. There's like spaceships and weaponry and robots and then a beetle that you're fighting or something. So kind of quirky. Okay, and then they went into Resident Evil sale again. And is this where he gave the little speech, or was that at the other one? I can't remember. It must have been at the preview. Oh no, this is him. Then this is the Resident Evil dude saying, "Hello everyone. This is I'm the leader of the Resident Evil team. We appreciate your support, not concern. Wait and be patient with us a little bit longer, and just a blink of an eye more, and the game will be ready."
So everyone knows it's coming at this point.
I feel like they've talked about it twice now. You're like, what is going on? It's kind of weird. Street Fighter 6 announced new characters for like their 3rd year. I don't know these characters, but the characters are. They had this weird trailer with like this wrestler dude. I went too far. Ooh, Sea Viper, Sagat, Ingrid, and Alex. Oh, there you go. A game called Last Flag was shown next, and it looks like Extreme Capture the Flag. A little hard to tell even what the gameplay would be like. It looks like Team Fortress, kind of. But it specifically, it's called Last Flag, so I imagine it's very Capture the Flag focused. Kind of like the vibe. But again, whether I can get into a multiplayer Capture the Flag game, that's another story. But Last Flag, at this point, there were flags everywhere in the trailer. So, like, how many flags are there? I don't know. A new trailer for Wu Chang Fallen Feathers, which I think comes out in the next couple of months. Does look kind of cool, like a more action-oriented, like kind of Neo or something. Like the vibe, but I'll probably wait and see on reviews for that one. You can pre-order it now. I think get some extra suits and stuff. This was kind of weird. They had us. Oh no, sorry. This is yeah. This is a Wu-Tang Clan video game called Rise of the Deceiver.
Right after Wu Chang.
Hey, I guess
They're going in alphabetical order this whole show.
Yeah. I think like aesthetically, like the gameplay there looked very cool. I don't, I'm not very big into like rap and stuff, so like this game is like kind of beyond me, but I'll take a look once I know more about it and once it's like got a release date and stuff. But anyways, then they showed Guild Wars 2, which compared to everything else shown in the presentation looked absolutely ancient. I'm like, why show this?
What the?
I think it's like an MMO that's been going on for a long time, and so they have like, I don't know if it's a new event or just like, hey, we're still here kind of vibe. But watching this after watching some of the others, I was like, oh, wow. All right, next up was a roguelike called Into the Unwell. Well, after I get past some more gotcha stuff. Mongil, Star Drive. And they did talk about Splitgate 2 and Marvel Rivals and stuff here in this segment on the Epic Game Store. Kind of burst here, but and then a little blurb about Switch 2. Okay, Into Unwell. And this one has a cool art style. It's a roguelike, and you look like this very sickly cat. And the cat looks very weird, but I feel like the rest of the art surrounding the main character was actually kind of cool. Kind of gives me like Looney Tunes vibes a little bit, and like mixed with Cuphead kind of.
This is amazing.
Yeah, I really like how it looks, so I hope that it's fun. I don't think there was a release date or anything shown. It's just kind of an announcement trailer at this point. But with the high-fiving there, I wonder if there is going to be co-op or not. But again, cool vibe. Sometimes I'm nervous when a game has like such unique artwork. I'm like, is that all you focused on? But it looks cool.
That's my fear for that first-person Mickey Mouse game.
Yeah.
That it's not going to play good. It's just going to look cool.
Yep. Splitgate 2, one of the like co-creators came out and said that Battle Royale launches right now and then left the stage. So I guess
that is funny.
I don't know if that's the full game or if that's just like a specific mode in Splitgate 2, but something Splitgate 2 launched yesterday. Then a new trailer for the Ryu Ga Gotoku game that was teased, I think, last year, and it finally has a name. It's called Stranger Than Heaven. And I still don't understand what this game is, but set in like the 40s, like cool, like musician kind of vibe. But then you go out in the streets and it's always raining and you're always fighting and punching people. I think this is the same team that makes Yakuza, so it might be a similar kind of vibe, but got the music, and here is a bunch of punching. Oh, and there's a Molotov. Since you're the main character, you're fine. Dodging bullets, taking names, throwing people off bridges, showing him no mercy. So, anyways, that game basically got a name announcement because last year it was called Project Century. Now it's called Stranger Than Heaven. And then, Devin, we already went over this, but then the Resident Evil Requiem thing kind of ended the section there. All right, quick thoughts on Summer Game Fest. What did you think? How did you think it was better or worse than the PlayStation Showcase?
I would say it was better, but basically because there was more.
There was more stuff. I think the PlayStation Showcase was, like you said, more concentrated, like 20 great things, where this was like 75, and I liked 10 of them.
Yeah, well said.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that a lot. It was nice. Sometimes it's nice to see something for the first time.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And so that was super exciting for me. Excited for Resident Evil in less than a year. Some of those games looked cool. Any new game that has co-op excites me.
Yeah, when it was Resident Evil, I was like, man, this is awesome. Devin's gonna be pumped. I'm really surprised you didn't
I'm shocked I didn't
see it beforehand, because yeah, it's like right here in the title. I'm like, how do I hide this? It's kind of dumb. Anyway, so that is the two conferences this week. We're just gonna end the video game news there just by saying really quickly, Night Rain, which is the Elden Ring game, has sold 3.5 million copies, and 9 souls has sold 800,000. So just some sales stuff. All right, in board games, we're gonna go pretty quick the rest of this episode because I don't want it to be a million hours long. But a few board games were announced this week. We'll skip that first one. That I think look pretty cool. The first one is a new version of a 2-player game called Spirits of the Wild, and this one I think is the same game, but I think it has a subheading. Yeah, Awakening is the new subheading here, and it's a pretty simple 2-player game. You're trying to like get these like gems out of a bowl, and like use them correctly here to win the game. It's supposed to be great. I haven't played Spirits of the Wild, but new version of that is coming out, I think, on June 20th. That will be published, on June 20th. So pretty imminently. Next up, I think, is a few new games. Nope, this one is before that, actually. This is a new game from Matt Leacock. We already talked about him earlier in the show with that Lord of the Rings Pandemic kind of game. This is a game designed by him and then 2 other well-known designers, Matthew Riddle and Ben Pinchback, called The Four Doors. And I heard the Dice Tower talking about it, and they said it sounds like Pandemic, but with cards instead of moving your character like around a board. So similar idea. It's a cooperative game. You're trying to complete some win condition before a bunch of fail conditions happen. It's kind of how most cooperative games work. It's 1 to 5 players, 10 plus, 30 minutes to play. Published by Happy Camper. They published, I think, Trio, and I love Trio. I think Trio was like one of their first games, though, so this is kind of a big get for them, I think. The other one from them, too, is called Jungo, and in this one, it's kind of like Trio, where you can't reorganize the cards in your hand, and you're trying to clear your hand first by playing cards, but you have to play... I wrote down Trio mixed with Scout. It's kind of the vibe I got with it. You have to play a set of cards from your hand that's better than what's on the center of the table. And then when you do that, you can choose to either discard the cards in the center or take them into your hand to like create more powerful structure in your hand to be able to play later. So looking forward to that one too. All right. Devin, the most famous board game designer of all time, the good doctor.
Reiner
Knizia.
Is it Knizia? I mean, because they're saying Knizia the whole time.
Knizia. I don't know. You say it however you want.
Oh, cool.
He answers to all of the names.
Wow.
He's designing a few more games, and the one that I pre-ordered, cough cough, and looks most interesting to me is this one from Office Dog, called The Hobbit: There and Back Again. And it's a pretty light, kind of simple game where you roll a bunch of dice on your turn, and then you get first dibs to choose a die, and then in turn order, everyone else chooses one. And that die will either give you something or let you build like a route on your board. And this game comes with 8 different like scenarios kind of going through the story of the Hobbit, like leaving Hobbiton or your confrontation with Smaug. So very cool. And you're collecting resources and drawing stuff here on your board. So kind of roll and write as a group with the scenarios based on the Hobbit. Very excited about that one. I think my pre-order will be available in September. And yeah, that's what it says, September 2025. Excited for that one. And then continuing to hurry, there is a new version of Villainous called Treacherous Tides with Davy Jones from Pirates of the Caribbean, as well as Tamatoa from Moana. I do like Tamatoa, so might be fun. I'm not a huge fan of Villainous, but it seems like that game must have been a humongous hit from Ravensburger because they continue to release just a ton of stuff for it. Alrighty, what is up next here? I think we're in
Crowdfunding Corner.
Okay. All right, that brings us to Crowdfunding Corner for the week of, I think we're publishing this a day late, but June 6th, 2025. And there are quite a few games. We're going to go through these pretty quickly, just based on time constraints this week. But we look at games that have crowdfunding campaigns that end in like the next, 5 to 15 days-ish, just so that you are aware of them, and just in case you might want to look into backing any of these projects. Can you send me the first one, Devin? It does not like you anymore, does it?
No.
That's okay. The first one is called Coexist, and this one looks interesting to me because it's a pretty simple looking game, but the art style is kind of cool, and it's being like published but also crowdfunded here by Madigo Games. So this isn't like a small like indie team. Madigo is a very popular and famous name in board games. If we go down here to the how to play section, you're going to choose a player board, go on a mission. You can recruit caretakers, which look like these character cards that will give you like a resource or something. When you draft the cards, you're going to welcome animals. If you want to do that instead, you can do A or B. Selecting animal cards, you'll welcome them onto your player board and commit to meeting their needs. You can only welcome a limited number of animals based on their value. Then you're going to manage your conservation center. It looks like a pretty simple drafting and resource management game, but I like the funky art style. Like that panda looks like he is melting into neon colors. And, I don't mind how that looks, to be honest. So that is called Coexist. This one's on GameFound. And it's on GameFound just for a couple more days until June 10th. Next up is the third game in a trilogy of roll and write games from a small team called Two Acorns Games, I think. Yeah. And this is Rise of the Oakdell. And in this one, you're kind of building like your own little civilization across 2 pieces of paper. And like I mentioned, this is the third in their series of the Oakdell print and play games. I'm very picky with print and play games because there are hundreds of them, and a lot of them are not, that great. But you can get it for $5 or like a fully featured version for $14 that has like a bunch of more stuff. And let me click here through the how to play segment. I thought this was a little unique. You have like this outline on your player board, and on each turn you roll the die, and then you count that many segments across the border of your paper, and you'll resolve like the threat level and write down the round that you used that piece, and then you get to draw that road on your city, gather some resources that you moved past in your city, spend them, develop technologies and stuff, and repeat for 13 turns, and then it's done. Whoever has the best civilization, i.e. most points, is the winner. I guess when I say winner, is this a solo only game or is this like 1 to 4? I imagine it's I say I imagine, but now I'm not sure, and it doesn't say. I think this is a multiplayer one. I'm very surprised that they do not say here. Some of their other ones I think have been solo only, so I'm not 100% sure. They do have this cool, included in their print and play campaign, you can print like the cover to a cardboard box with like the appropriate dimensions, and you could actually print that box if you wanted to. And then there's the other ones, Dungeons of the Oakdale and Villagers of the Oakdale, that were very popular as well. So that one is on Kickstarter until June 11th. All right, next up, Rewild South America. Also very cool, like nature art here. Kind of gives me like Princess Mononoke, like
I was gonna say
vibes.
Studio
Ghibli vibe, yeah.
I only say Ibli because I get in trouble no matter which
Yeah.
no matter which way I say it.
Ghibli or Ghibli, I think are the two most used ones. 1 to 4 players, ages 10 plus, 45 to 60 minutes. And I think in this one you have to like rebuild the land by like putting these tiles out on your board, and then you can attract animals to the board, I think. And the animal cards are very cool. That capybara, for example, there on the right, he's I just love how the cards look. They do look like Ghibli cards. I wonder who the artist is. They don't use any AI in their art, so good job on them. And it looks like they have a team of artists. Someone named Joanna and Mark. I don't know why I said that like that. Johanna? I don't know.
Joanna.
So, cool team. Looks cool. That's Rewild up to the top. South America on Kickstarter until June 12th. Next up is Double campaign from 25th Century Games. Pretty famous publisher for Stargazers and Observatory. You can get one game or both. And they play quite a bit differently. Stargazers, let me see if I can whoops, I think I went to the wrong one first. Stargazers, here they just have a how to play video. I did look it up, so oh yeah, you draft like 2 items at a time, an outer like segment for your board and an inner like item. Kind of reminds me of this other game from Brotherwise Games. It's like a Super Boss Monster or something, or I can't remember, where you draft 2 items at a time, but then you don't have to put them in the same place. You have to take the combo, but then you can split them up as you put them on your own constellation board. And I'm trying to find your own board here. Where is it? There was a really cool picture of them showing those. Maybe it's this. They have cardboard version or the fancy acrylic version, and those do look nice, to be honest. Anyways, you're trying to make like the best mural based on what you have seen through your telescope in the stars. So you're taking pieces, building your own mural, connecting the planets together based on color and different things there, and then placing the items in the center as well. I think the artist there, is it Vincent? Yeah, it is Vincent Dutray. He does really, really great art, so it looks very pretty. Then the other game is called Observatory, and I thought they had a click through of how to play. Oh, they do here. How to play. Roll the dice, plot your move, score the points.
Oh, yeah.
Refresh the cards and repeat the process. It looks like a roll and write. Smaller game, it's much cheaper of the two. I do think Stargazers looks really cool. Not sure if I would love it as much as the Boss Monster game that I have, that I think is a bit more popular. But this is a new one, obviously, so who knows? Maybe it could take that place for me of a cool drafting game where you take 2 pieces at a time. So that's Stargazers and Observatory from 25th Century Games. Again, going a little bit quick here for our time constraints this week. Then the next one's called Soros, and this is a trick-taking game, kind of, but instead of cards, you're using these like dominoes, and then you're also like putting the domino pieces that you win on your own board, trying to make like patterns and different things to score points. So there will be a different trump dino each turn, and then you'll play a tile. Some of them have special effects or whatnot. Whoever wins the trick gets to take 2 of the tiles, and all the other players take 1. And then you'll put them on your board somewhere, trying to, if you can get similar colors touching, I think you get like lots of bonus points. If you ever can't place something somewhere, you lose some points. So there's like trick taking, trying to win the most tiles in the center, but then you're also trying to score a bunch by how you puzzle them out on your board. And there is like an expansion that adds some more complex tiles. Where is the deluxe pledge here? Yeah, like the asteroid tile and the Quetzalcoatlus, which is the only tile that will beat the T-Rex.
Ooh.
Oh, and that guy, that's a creepy dude.
I like that thing.
There is a Nosaurus.
There's a Nosaurus. Nah, never mind. Continue.
He gives you all of like the icons, so he's good. But I think like when you take him from someone, then they get a bonus and you can get the 6th player map. I don't know. It's kind of a unique looking
Look
game.
at the base Nessie card just for a moment. Tell me it doesn't look like a scorpion the opposite direction.
The base.
When you were
Nessie
saying
card.
yeah, just the blue domino.
The blue domino. Okay. Let me see.
When you were saying dinosaurs, I was like, that's obviously bugs.
obviously bugs. Where is this blue?
There's one.
Oh, this one.
Did you see it? Like initially,
yeah,
just its tail up.
back here, and then the.
I did not see that as a dinosaur at all.
That's funny. And then you're like, wait a second. That's hilarious. But that's Saros, kind of a smaller indie game. I like the unique vibe of it. Trick taking mixed with your own little tableau of tiles. That one's on Kickstarter until June 13th. This one is a reprint, so we'll be really brief here. But Inish is a very famous game, and this includes the Nemid expansion in a big old box. Has big miniatures and stuff too. I guess that's a new expansion, actually, is what it's saying here. The Nemid expansion. I haven't played Inish. It's one I've thought about getting a few times, but I don't know. Just kind of a genre that's not my most loved either. So I'm like, I don't know. But if you love Inish, this is a pretty excellent looking version. I do love the like Celtic art, like on the game and the cards and everything. So it looks cool. It does look a little bit like David Bowie
From the
on this cover here, like
from the Labyrinth. That guy
from yeah.
Okay.
Like I feel like he had like some music that had him looking about like that with his hair all crazy. Maybe I'm wrong, but this game, Inish, big box, is on Kickstarter till June 17th. Then is this the last one?
2 more.
Oh, 2 more. Next is Sniper Elite, Operation Kraken, and a reprint. This is a hidden movement game where you're like sneaking around and trying to keep your movement hidden from the other players, and they're trying to find you. A cool genre. I only have a couple games in this genre. This one's supposed to be very good. It is based on a video game. but I think that even if you don't know anything about the video game, it's supposed to be like pretty excellent as like with board game logic and like the rule set and everything. Got a seal of excellence from the Dice Tower, as you can see there. So yeah, I won't spend a lot of time here on this reprint, but it does have the new expansion. I wonder if it will tell me a little bit more about this here. 2 brand new maps, along with a host of new mechanics and abilities for both the sniper and the defenders. So if you like that game, it is on GameFound for 11 more days until June 19th. And then last up for us this week is Nexus, also on GameFound. It is a fast-paced 1 versus 1 card game set in an epic fantasy world where powerful factions fight to survive the cataclysm. You must combine 2 unique factions, develop your own strategies, and destroy the rival Nexus to claim victory. I'm sometimes picky with 1v1 card games, but I like the idea of you choose, it's kind of like a compile where you choose 3 different mini decks, but here you choose 2 different decks, combine them into what you're going to play with for that game, and then you are trying to beat your opponent. I really like compile, and so I think because of that I was like, oh, this one might be at least worth looking at, because I like that kind of gameplay. I don't think it's a lane battler per se. I think you put like all your cards out in front of you in like a row, and then you can attack like wherever you want, kind of like Hearthstone-ish was kind of the vibe I got. But the artwork looks pretty cool. It's supposed to be solid. I like the idea of mixing 2 decks together, and they specifically said up top like this is not a collectible card game where we're not like hiding like the best cards in booster packs and stuff. So I like the idea of it being content complete as well. Has a cool magnetic deluxe box too. So anyways, that's Nexus, the card game by Redzen Games. It's on GameFound until June 19th. And Devin, in our blitzed version of Crowdfunding Corner today, what is your pick of the week?
This one.
This one?
You sold me so quickly with the just the 2 decks.
Yeah.
This is my type of game.
It
just
is.
kind of try to build something and attack each other. And
yeah, 20 minutes too. That's like.
And you and I are pretty chill in like 1v1 games, and
yeah,
it's fun. It's kind of it's fun. It's kind of mathematical, and you sold it in a very quick fashion right there, and I was much more intrigued by this game than any other game for sure. Okay. What's your pick?
I wasn't 100% sure. I think I'm going to give it to Soros, the weird dinosaur trick-taking game with the kind of puzzle board. Yeah, that looked like a scorpion to Devin. Just because I think they're a bit more of an indie team and really into trick-taking games right now. And I think this one sounds kind of cool. I think the artwork looks like a little weird, in my opinion, but I can get past that if like I'm mostly focused on looking at my stack of dominoes in front of me and like, okay, which colors of dominoes do I have left? So I don't really care what the artwork on the box.
You don't play the game and just stare at the box the whole time.
Like, ooh, look at that. Look at that T-Rex. He's BFFs with the Brachiosaurus. Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, that's probably gonna be my pick of the week, just for uniqueness. It also comes with neoprene player mats and stuff in the I think the deluxe version here. Thick mahjong like tiles, and I like the colors and iconography. Yeah, so I'm gonna go with Soros. So Soros for trick-taking kind of vibes, and Devin chose Nexus, the card game, which does look like a fun kind of 1v1 battler. That's going to do it for Crowdfunding Corner for the week of June 6th, 2025. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next week for episode 63 of Crowdfunding Corner. And Devin, that ends probably our longest episode.
Ooh, I don't know.
You don't know?
It was long, my goodness.
Yeah, my legs are like asleep. What are we at? We're at 3 hours.
3 hours and 1 minute
right now. 1 minute. Might be a little bit shorter after I clip some stuff.
That's a long time to sit in one chair, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I wonder.
You kind of killed it, though.
If we should like take a break, like if like we're starting to feel it, I'm like, let's take a 5 minute.
We should just get a second walking treadmill, and we'll both just walk. right here the whole
Yeah,
time.
there you go. That might be kind of nice, to be honest. But anyways, thanks so much for listening and watching. Make sure to check out Devin on Twitch. He's Player 4. He plays all kinds of fun games there Monday through Friday. You can check out my board game content on gamingtopdown.com. We do unboxings and playthroughs. It's a fun time over there as well. And check out the Patreon at patreon.com/supergamebrothers if you want these episodes a little bit early and help us keep the lights on. And I think that's it for today. So we'll see you next week. And until then, have a good one.